Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Kingston and Queen's University Athletics and Recreation Center in downtown Kingston, Ontario. I'm Kyle Campo, joined alongside by Chris Fernandez. And Chris, we're getting set for the Futsal Canadian Championship gold medal match between Sporting and Toronto Idolo, two mainstays on the Futsal Canadian stage. But before we get into that, a quick reflection on someone that the Futsal Canadian family has lost.
Yeah, we're about to do a moment of applause. Not a moment of silence, but a moment of applause for one of the greatest builders in the history of this sport in Canada, and that's Bob Tibble. Robert Tibble passed away a couple of months ago, and our good friend Joe Audi from the Canadian Soccer Association, one of the elite refs that trained with Bob, will be doing a wonderful little speech and memorial for our dear friend who passed away. And I know that his family, Deb, Max, and the rest of everyone watching back home, and very excited to honor all his contributions over the years to the wonderful sport. And just before we get on with that, we have referee Chris Grabus, the only FIFA-badged referee in futsal here in Canada, doing the coin flip with all the usual suspects out there, some of the best referees in Canada in this game, so we know it's going to be a really, really well-called match.
And looking at the two captains, Mohamed Farsi, excellent player for Sporting, making his way back into the circle, and Luigi Caruso at the other side for Toronto Idolo. Been excellent all weekend long, and again, the moment of celebration here.
In honor of Bob Tibble, we would ask you to stand and participate in a moment of remembrance by applause to Bob and to show our appreciation of his immense contribution to the game.
And Bob was from Ottawa, served with me on the Ontario Soccer's Futsal Committee, served with the CSA in numerous capacities, conducted numerous courses all around the world to places that absolutely opened his eyes, and just was a wonderful, wonderful father, an incredible contributor to the sport, but most importantly, one of my best friends that I've ever had. And, it was a big loss for the entire futsal community, but it was a wonderful moment here to have a moment of applause. I'm a real big fan of that, and that credit goes out to Big Chief at the CSA, Joe Guest, and got to applaud him for a wonderful, wonderful idea and honoring our great friend Bob. And no better way to honor him, though, than having a great classic championship match between two of the best clubs in the country. So I know he's looking down from us from above and having a real good time about to watch a classic championship game.
So Sporting Montreal taking on Toronto Idolo. Chris, these two teams you know quite well. You've seen them over the course of the last 5 years at this tournament, perhaps beyond as well. And looking at some of the main pieces from either side, some of the guys who've been involved in Canadian futsal for a long period of time, who are some guys to kind of watch out for, maybe for Toronto Idolo to start, and then for Sporting Montreal?
Well, both these teams played each other in the final last year, with Toronto Idolo coming out on top, and these teams are both chock full of amazing talent. For Idolo, you're definitely going to want to keep your eyes on Cabeza, a.k.a. Bullets, Eduardo Uruguay, who's a national team player, played with the Canadian team in 2016 at CONCACAF, a big stalwart there. Damian Graham was the lightest feet in anybody in this country when it comes to futsal. Luis Roca, the young kid coming out, he's got 3 goals already in the tournament. And then over for Sporting Montreal, Brandon Nario, one of the best defenders in the country, is fantastic. Another player we're going to watch is a real young kid, 17 years old, Safwane Mala, number 9 out there. Great little story, we'll talk about him later. And then personal favorite of both of ours is Mohamed Farsi, another defender and just a wonderful class act. Can't wait to see these kids go head-to-head.
And Mohamed Farsi taking a hard shot yesterday in the semifinal, Chris. It was a red card on GTA Toronto in the process. We'll see how Farsi holds up here as we are underway in the national championship in the Futsal Canadian Championship gold medal match between Sporting Montreal and Toronto Idolo. Pass right away comes to the near side to Chavez Melendez. Back to the far side to Farsi, to Melendez. Damian Graham defending as Toronto Idolo setting up a bit of a T here defensively. And now guarding their zone, goes back to Farsi. Back pass near side, gets underneath, goes off of Shaq Michaud, and out of play. Michaud looking for a call and a tug on the jersey, but not going to get it as Idolo will play out of the zone with Caruso.
Yeah, and you know that Sporting, they have a very, very disciplined approach out there, playing a 2-2 system mostly, and they're going to try and penetrate early on and get the early goal. That's what Idolo did against them last year, and it cost them, so I think they've definitely learned from last year's mistakes.
Graham along the far side, shot gets through, but it's blocked by Farsi. He's clutching at a bit of a sensitive area there, Chris. I think Farsi has been a little worse for wear in terms of injuries throughout the course of this tournament. And again, he got cleaned out yesterday in the semifinal. A hard, aggressive tackle kind of took out his legs and left him limping around. And then Farsi, right at the beginning here, taking that hard futsal ball in a spot that's pretty uncomfortable.
Well, this certainly isn't the ballet. There's a lot of contact here in futsal. Smaller court, real aggressive. So there's going to be a lot of knocks, especially when you're playing a game a day. It takes its toll on you on match day 4 of the final. And these guys are digging down deep with everything they have left to try and lift the trophy and bring it back home.
Try to get the stretch up top to Damian Graham. Goes off his foot and out of play. Montreal going to play it outside of their defensive zone. They lay it off to Farsi. And Farsi will get it back once again in the defensive zone. Got options to work with, comes into the near side. Pass to the right into number 7, Chavez Melendez. Back to Farsi, to Chavez Melendez here on the near side. Just jockeying back and forth, Farsi still with it. Makes his way into the corner and wins a corner kick out of it as it deflects off the leg of Adrian Perez.
And I'm really excited to see Mohamed Farsi. He's only 19 years old. That's the thing about this kid. He's just an absolute dynamite at such a young age.
Chavez Melendez with the attack.
And really excited to see how he develops out there. His maturity's picking up much quicker than you would expect for any 19-year-old kid. And he's going to be a part of this program for years to come out there. And hopefully one day maybe even, go out, play more national caps and get his big games in and make an impact out there on the international stage.
Pass to Chavez Melendez, back here to the near side to Nabuka. Farsi in the straightaway. Farsi makes his way to the outside. Mohamed Farsi holds, keeps the ball and toes it along the line. Back to Nabuka on the far side. He's got Shaq Michaud, lays it off for Michaud. Michaud trying to get the 1-2 going and falling down to the ground. It's going to be a goal kick upcoming now for Toronto Idolo.
No, that was a good call there by Toronto referee.
Coming out is Gamari, and contact made at the edge there, but Gamari is in that big frame to come out and collect the ball. And back up is Nabuka. Now to Farsi. Farsi has Chavez Melendez in the wing. They go to Nabuka instead. Michaud posting it up top. Chavez Melendez again, back to Nabuka. Trying to get the straightaway. Here's Chavez Melendez towards the edge of the box. Michaud trying to get the 1-2 inside again, and now Graham will come back in the counter for Idolo, and it's a foul. No call by Michaud on the shot there from Michaud, and Caruso with a big save coming back. And Caruso screaming out in elation from the save, but also barking instructions to his teammates.
Yeah, Caruso with a clutch save out there, and the referee's not making that call, and Caruso bailed out Idolo.
Nabuka far side, trying to get it through. Here's Farsi, working his way down the left wing. Farsi left foot shot comes across. Caruso gets a touch. And now Idolo trying to push the pace and come back the other way. Farsi wisely just going to play off the head and lays it off to Gamari. And Farsi will come back with it. A bit of pace to work with, being defended by Louis Roca. Farsi taking on Roca. Adrian Perez now closing in on Farsi on that far wing. In the straightaway shot well high of the net. And again, Caruso continuing to instruct to his defenders. And Toronto Idolo back on their heels a little bit here to start the game.
Now they like playing a patient game. They're coached by Lorenzo Redwood, who has already 2 national titles to his credit as the assistant coach of the national team. He likes a slow, meticulous, and methodical approach out there. He knows he has the talent, as we saw there by the man nicknamed Bullets, and you could see why with that shot.
Eduardo Jorge with a shot just wide of the far side post, and Gamari wisely letting that one go. But Farsi will come back. Again, a patient defensive game here from Toronto Idolo, as Graham putting pressure in up top on Farsi. It's Graham and Farsi, 2 of the younger players on the futsal Canadian stage here, Chris, and they are 2 huge integral parts of their respective teams. Farsi getting taken down, and now the foul going to be called as Farsi was defending in the corner. But again, Farsi taking on Damian Graham, going to be an interesting matchup all game long.
Oh, definite. You have Mohamed Farsi going up against Damian Graham. They're two of the most light-footed players, very quick, very, very key on the ball. And, I mean, you see the maturity we talked about of Mohamed Farsi. The guy's 19 years old, wearing the captain's armband. He won the Canadian Championship 2 years ago, played for Sporting at the CONCACAF Championship in 2017. And, you know, his family back in Montreal and in Algeria is definitely watching him, hopefully, to lift a second trophy out here today.
Farsi coming up, patient with the ball coming down the right wing as he approaches to take on Adrian Perez. Nabuka, reset. Chavez Melendez back to Farsi. Got Michaud off to the right. Jacques Michaud trying to make a run towards goal. Farsi staying with it. Being pushed out by Perez. They'll reset to the back end to Chavez Melendez. And not much pushing forward here in a defensive role here by Perez and company. Shot from Michaud goes off Roca and out of play. Be touched in now by Michaud and Sporting.
And Roca's actually getting in his first weekend of actual futsal as he signed for the MASL Mississauga Metro Stars. Young kid, 24 years old, and you know, doing his first pro indoor contract and coming out to futsal. It's a definite adaptation, but he's up to the task, the young lad.
Chavez Melendez gets it through the legs there of Damian Graham, inadvertently or otherwise. And they'll reset once again. Kind of a 2-1, 2-2 now. And now coming to the far side. Still scoreless between Toronto Idolo and Sporting Montreal. Bouncing ball, looking for a handball. Not going to get the call, though. Looked as though from our angle, Chris, that it was there for the taking. Big save, though, on the back end as Gamari right in front of Damian Graham celebrating a spectacular save. And they can't capitalize on the counter, but what a save from Gamari.
An absolutely big-time shot by Damian Graham out there, but Gamari with an absolutely monstrous save to come out and keep this deadlocked at 0.
Marco Rodriguez coming onto the floor, as is Edson Jimenez. Toronto Idolo making a couple substitutions. Nabuka to the far side. Michaud gets a shot away. He has to keep it alive, and it'll roll out, and it's going to be a goal kick takeout here from Caruso. It's a good framing and defensive play that time out of the back from Toronto Idolo. Post comes in up top. Trying to get it through there to Marco Rodriguez. He recollects at the top. Rodriguez now back in the defensive zone, pushes far side. And then they come now to the near side to Perez. Gonna lay it back. Caruso has to come out and try to collect the ball. And a miscommunication out of the back from Toronto Idolo as Caruso unable to collect that ball.
Yeah, and it's not very often you see, you know, miscommunication there. Caruso is part of the national team pool out there.
Michaud collects off the corner. Michaud can't get a clean shot away as he's defended there by Sina Candon, who just came off the bench. And Candon opening up. Great look in the middle to Sina Candon.
We got a great story about Sina later on. The Iranian used to play in one of the top leagues in the Iranian league in Azerbaijan. We got some more info on him later. He'll be a treat to watch all day.
Candon keeps it alive and towing the line on the far side. Farsi. Again, patient defending by Toronto Idolo. And has to be careful out of the back here as Sporting. Get the stretch ball in up top. Can't quite keep it in as the pass from Farsi can't quite get it through onto the foot of Nabuka.
And we talked about the goalkeepers, obviously. Ooh, almost a big mistake there.
Roca gets taken out, and that's going to be a goal kick now for Caruso.
Yeah, definitely don't want to be making a mistake, especially up front with one of the top players out there. Jean-Gilles, number 76. A guy who's always lurking around that goal area, looking just to pickpocket someone and bury it in. Very talented young man.
Jimenez up top. Michaud comes up, almost cleaning us out here, Chris.
And my goaltender reflexes ain't what they used to be, that's for sure.
Kicking the ball in now is Jimenez, and it's going to be a turnover. And now Jimenez going to get a warning here from the official. A couple of substitutions incoming now for Sporting. And it is Safwani Mala on the floor now, Chris. And he checks towards the face of goal. Has to be careful as Graham, and goes to Caruso, outlays it to the outside to Candon. Farsi gets in the way of that one. They're going to reset to Nabuka. He's got plenty of time to work with. Pass goes to the far side to Farsi. Farsi trying to split the defenders and get a shot away. And now it's turned over, coming back in the counter. And a hard collision there at the center court. So you now see Sina Candon trying to argue the case here for Idolo. But getting hurt down to the floor hard there was Edson Jimenez.
And Jimenez, the young kid, 24 years old, already has 2 national titles under his belt out there, and credits Coach Redwood for the discipline and self-control when playing. And I think Redwood's going to be very happy that he popped back up rather swiftly after taking that knock.
So Jimenez will take the ball, gets it right back after the touch from Seminiego. Seminiego gets it back here on the near wing. Candon on the far side. Sina Candon opens up, gets a left foot shot. Great save by Kamari. It's Adam Kamari with a great touch again, stretching across, going right to left, and a great save.
Well, Kamari played for Sporting in 2017 at the CONCACAF Championship, and he was so impressive out there that the Tunisian national team capped him out, and now he's part of the Tunisian national program and is looking to do the World Cup qualifiers later this year.
Corner kick incoming. They're going to go to the back to Sina Candon. Candon trying to get a shot loose, goes off the leg there of Michaud, who's got a couple of words there for Sina Candon after that shot attempt. The touch back in here. Gonna get turned over. And the touch in incoming now from Nabuka. Farsi down the right wing, trying to get it stretched inside, and Farsi gets taken out hard. Be a foul on the near side here.
That was a foolish foul by Marco Rodriguez. Phenomenal national team player, has years of experience, multiple championships under his belt, but you can't be making fouls like that, especially early on here in the first half.
So Farsi will take the ball on the near sideline here. Within striking distance, he's got Jean-Gilles on the far side. And an option in Nabuka right to the back. You see Caruso giving his instruction. Great touch inside as Jean-Gilles can't quite get a foot on it. Touch just wide of the net. Corner kick won back again, though, for Sporting.
And Jean-Gilles is a very intelligent player. He's the oldest player by 6 years on the Sporting Montreal side at the age of 32, but he plays like a 25, 26-year-old.
And Mala tries to get the ball across the face of goal with Jean-Gilles threatening deep. So Farsi all the way at the back. They come to Nabuka here on the right point. Frames inside there with Jean-Gilles. It's going to go off his foot and out of play, and he continues to talk to the near side official, arguing his case for a call. Gets it in up top. Back to the point, trying to reset. And they get it across here to Jimenez. Try to get the 1-2, a little bit too much on the touch. Had time to work with, though, was Marco Rodriguez. Just a little bit too much on the 1-2 pass.
Yeah, and he looks really frustrated early on out there. Rodriguez is usually a very composed, big-time two-way player, but that foul coupled with that heavy touch out there, I'm questioning if he's ready to go, but hopefully he picks it up out there. He's got that experience and definitely wants to make sure that he contributes out here to Idolo.
Mala stretch up top to Jean-Gilles. And a foul from Jean-Gilles as he comes straight through the back there of Condon. As Condon gets himself up off the floor, makes his way towards the bench, but it's going to stay on the floor.
So that's 2 fouls each per team, and for those kind of new to futsal out here, each team essentially has 5 fouls per half, and any subsequent foul after that results in an unopposed essential PK from 10 meters out.
Framing it up top, Rodriguez spins and fires, and Kamari has to get up top to it quickly. Great control with the head, going to lay it off. Nope, going to keep instead and recycle back around is Samir Morsley. Back to Mala. Morsley, far side, Jean-Gilles waiting for it up top. Morsley. Kept in. Great movement out of the back. Here comes Sporting, lays it off. Jean-Gilles score! Berlin, Jean-Gilles gets the Sporting fans on their feet. And it's 1-0 here early on, Chris.
Well, that came about as a result of a defensive error here by Idolo. They got caught on a 3v2. The guys up front out there were lazy to get back, and boy, did Sporting capitalize on that error, and that is a clutch opening goal to put them up 1-0 here in the championship.
Berlin, Jean-Gilles makes it 1-0 for Sporting, and almost coming back right away was Idolo. Now they'll come back in the counter. Sporting making its way through again, and then a late foul coming back across. We're going to get a card, it looks like, upcoming. As Jean-Gilles makes his way across, it'll be a yellow card, and frustration boiling over here for Toronto Idolo. As Alan Canusi gets taken out on his rush attempt forward, Chris. And you can see Idolo, maybe a wise foul to take, as they were trying to come back in the counter and prevent a second goal.
Well, the big thing now you got to worry about for Eduardo Uruguay, who's the probable best defender on this team and one of the best in the country by far out there, is now he's on a yellow card, and he's going to have to make sure that he's not overly aggressive, because if they lose him, they're going to be in some deep water here against a very potent Sporting Montreal offense.
Morsley lays it off to the back end. Trying to get it reset there to Canusi. He gets it turned over. Graham with great pressure, but Canusi stays with it. Now they'll come back forward, trying to get the favor in some numbers. They'll resend it back. Pass to the far side. Trying to get it forced up, and now it's Michaud. Shaq Michaud. Gets it off to the inside. And still touched along the side here. Michaud trying to open up and give an option. As Sporting done a great job so far with their substitutions. Inside now to Michaud, trying to get it sprung loose. And Chris, Shaq Michaud, someone who's been with this Sporting team quite a while and was huge for their championship a couple years back.
No question about it. The 26-year-old was the captain when they won the title 2 years ago. One of the greatest moments I've ever seen in Canadian futsal history is when they won the title. He just jet right up into the spectator stands all around the ARC facility here at Queen's University and grabbed the Quebec flag, although he tied it down a little too hard, so it took him a couple of minutes to get it out. But you could see the tears in his eyes and the passion, and that's why Shaq Michaud is one of everyone's favorite players.
And Michaud with the body there as Idolo looking for a call. Montreal Sporting will come back in the counter, just a little bit too much off the foot. Couldn't quite get enough control on it, was Samir Morsley.
And you have to just love this atmosphere here at Queen's University. It is loud. I could barely hear yourself talking out there, and it's just phenomenal. This atmosphere is really picked up and showing why futsal is gaining such popularity in Canada.
Graham with the post and up top. Idolo gets a collect back here on the near side. Trying to make the way towards goal. Shot off the inside of the post and bounces back out. Excellent shot attempt on goal by Louis Roca.
You can see the passes are picking up. There's a little more spice out there. Perez passed it over to Eduardo, who hit over to Luis Roca, who's got an excellent shot out there.
And a poke off the other post this time. So Idolo doing their best to get right back in this match here in the first half. Graham unable to collect, and that's going to roll out for a goal kick upcoming for Sporting. But after conceding the opening goal, Toronto Idolo coming back with some pace.
They're itching, hitting both posts out there. This lineup is looking really potent right now. Real top players out there with Perez, Graham, Roca, and Eduardo.
Pretty uncharacteristic ball there from Farsi as he tried to get the stretching up top. It just had way too much pace on it and goes out the length of the floor. Sent it forward there to Jorge. Eduardo Jorge gets taken down. Continued pressure up top by Shaq Michaud. Luis Roca lays it off. They'll come back to the far side. Laying it off here is Adrian Perez. Perez gets it set back up to Jorge. Intercepted, Michaud. Can't quite get the shot attempt through, trying to lay it off to the outside. And now Farsi going to try to play it back. He's going to frame and get it to Gamari. Gamari with a stretching up top. Michaud, continued pressure here for Sporting. Luis Roca towing along the line, and they're going to say it's going to go in favor of Idolo, as Michaud will switch spots with Berlin Jean-Gilles. Framing up top, little clutch of the jersey there. No foul called from the official. Now bodies continue to roll around as Farsi will come back in the counter. Lays it off for Jean-Gilles to Farsi. Can't quite get a clean look as defended back the other way. But now it's intercepted. Luis Roca with a good job defending, but almost turned it over. Roca gets it back in up top. Luis Roca makes his way around Berlin Jean-Gilles. We're going to get a spot kick here, and we will. So now an opportunity for Idolo to get right back in it, Chris.
Big opportunity out here is Toronto referee Philip Duich, a man I know very well, along with Chris Grabis, now giving a penalty kick opportunity. Great movement on the outside there by Roca. And let's see if he can beat one of the top goalkeepers in North America in Adam Gamari. This would really set the tone for the rest of the first half if Idolo can come in and score.
Roca at the spot. Gamari on the line. Sporting up 1-0 with an opportunity now for Roca to make it 1-1. Whistle is signaled in, and it's 1-1. Luis Roca makes it 1-1. Idolo back on even terms.
Well, you couldn't ask for a better shot out there for the 23-year-old forward who's been one of the top scorers for Toronto Idolo for years out there. Adam Gamari, nothing you can do in that situation out there, and now we have ourselves a game deadlocked again at 1-1.
As expected here between these two futsal powerhouses, Toronto Idolo and Sporting Montreal. It is 1-1 here in the first half of the Futsal Canadian Championship gold medal match here in Kingston, Ontario. Nabuka trying to play it forward and get Sporting right back in it. Farsi collects on the left point, trying to make his way around Luis Roca. And a good opportunity for the 1-2, but shaking his head in disbelief on that pass attempt coming in. On the touch there is Samir Morsley. Had a little miscommunication up top.
We can expect with this lineup right now with Sporting that's out on the court now, the one thing they'll want to do is get that quick goal back to kill any momentum that Idolo's built in the last 3 minutes, which has been quite nice so far.
Jean-Gilles with an opportunity in, but a good slide by Eduardo Jorge. Cleaning that opportunity out of harm's reach. They'll set back up. Just about 7 minutes to go here in the opening half. Farsi gets the shot attempt through. And they'll lay it back off. Farsi in the defensive half, trying to push his way through as he's battling with Luis Roca. Nabuka gets it to the far side. And Farsi just going to take his time here and allow this offense to work its way through here for Sporting. He takes on Luis Roca, shot through. Caruso makes the save. And it'll come all the way back out to half, and going to reset with the ball is Morsley. Morsley trying to get the check ball inside to Jean-Gilles. And goes off a hand, it may have looked like, and bounced out of play. But Jean-Gilles just a big frame inside, Chris, and allows that post position to try to allow second and third runs off.
He's a fantastic little pivot, always trying to get behind his defenders and move around.
Shot attempt there from Farsi, and now they'll come back in the counter with Luis Roca. Does he have number 2 in him? Not quite this time. And Luis Roca will reset. Back to the point now to Kevin Valdez. Jimenez to Valdez. And just going to allow it to go out as Nabuka. And pressure in right away from Sina Candon. And that's going to go out of play and be a kick in now upcoming for Candon and Toronto Idolo. Can't quite get it through. Now a chance in the counter. It's a 2-on-1. Jean-Gilles trying to get his way through. Good job defensively getting it through enough. And then Caruso with a hard slide and then some words at the end of the play. Now Caruso getting warned, as it was Samir Morsley who went down hard after the contact made with Caruso.
Well, we saw the pinch earlier when Idolo was on the attack, and they got absolutely caught. And honestly, that could have been a simple goal out there for Sporting if it wasn't for Caruso coming out with the dive to make that tackle.
Caruso getting a talking to there from the far side official. Morsley looks as though he's okay. He's going to take the kick in here. He's got Samir. No, they'll come back to Farsi instead. Mohamed Farsi makes his first move and tries to get it around Candon. And now Farsi perhaps going to take the kick in here. He's got Nabuka to work with at the back, and that's where they go. Posting in again is Jean-Gilles. Waiting for that slip ball to come in from Nabuka. He's going to go to Farsi instead. Farsi lays it off far side. Morsley. Back to Marcy. Good little piece of footwork there. And they come to the far side. Farsi gets contact made by Candon, but they play the advantage. It's going to be flipped out for a corner. And again, you see Farsi arguing his case, Chris, but they did play the advantage and they were able to make an attack out of it.
The referees have been solid so far today out there. We knew it was going to be an aggressive contest against, with these two rivals out there. They built a nice rivalry. Friendship, respect is part of the order.
Great touch out of the back, though. Jean-Gilles can't quite do enough. He tries to get this Zlatan Ibrahimovic TFC flick there, Chris. Great touch inside, though, but it's a big save by Kamari. Kamari ecstatic once again, and then Farsi gets taken out.
That was an absolutely game-changing, phenomenal save there by Adam Gamari. What a phenomenal foot save out there. And on top of it, now Toronto Idolo making a foolish foul again for the second time, but now this is their 4th foul. All right, and with 5 minutes left in the half, if they commit 2 more fouls, or 1 more foul, they foul out, and every opportunity after that will allow Sporting to get in.
Chance on the far side, a slide attempt coming through. Great check ball inside. Can't quite get it through to Berlin Jean-Gilles. And it's going to be out of play. They're going to blow it dead. Good attempt, though, by Samir Morsley Mahadin.
And we talked about that foolish foul by Christian Samaniego a couple of moments ago, but he came back with a wonderful, wonderful slide tackle. That would have been nothing but a tap-in for Jean-Gilles to go up 2-1. So credit to the man for coming back and getting back in that.
Farsi takes it, advances past half. Farsi trying to take on the defender one-on-one, gets a shot through. It's going to deflect out, though, for a goal kick. Quick release, lays it off inside to Jimenez. Go to the back end. To Jorge. Puts it in up top. Trying to cycle back around. Comes square ball to Jorge. Trying to go right back, but Jean-Gilles with the interception. He's got Farsi to his left. Jean-Gilles keeps. Great poke from Luigi Caruso.
An uncharacteristic giveaway there by Eduardo, but a great save there by the foot. Luigi Caruso matching up against Adam Gamari. Great goalkeeping so far by both squads.
Comes square ball to Morsley. Back far side to Farsi. Mohamed Farsi keeps. Great job by him to get inside the arc of that crease. And then a foul back the other way. They're going to call it here on Berlin. Jean-Gilles not happy with the call on the far side official.
Well, that's where the experience and intelligence of Marco Rodriguez comes in. He knew his defender was coming behind him, just stuttered out there. He could have exploded, but instead took the opportunity for the foul. And now both teams sit at 4 fouls.
And we get Mitchell Sila in the game for the first time here now for Sporting, number 11, who replaced Berlin Jean-Gilles. So it'll be a spot kick here, or a free kick opportunity here for Toronto Idolo. Come to Jorge. It's a touch there and goes into the corner. Can't quite handle it on the touch coming through. Goes off of Marco Rodriguez and out of play. Coming chance out of the back. Here's Farsi. Got Nabuka. Come inside now to Morsley. Nabuka. Back to Morsley. To Farsi. Defended by Roca, and the shot through just wide of the net. Good hard contact on the shot, though, by Mohamed Farsi.
I could watch Mohamed Farsi play futsal all day long. I can't get enough of this kid. He's just phenomenal. Championships under his belt at 19, but the maturity and class and the leadership is beyond phenomenal. One of the best players in this country today.
Stretch to the far side to Luis Roca, looking for goal number 2. It's a little toe poke on the right foot, trying to get that inside post. Just wide of the net, as Gamari wisely lets that one go through. Lays it off to Nabuka. Defended. He's coming back. Here's Nabuka again. They got numbers forward. They go cross to Morsley. They got Mohamed Farsi trailing in. They go to Farsi. Touch there at center court. Forced Farsi. Taking Candon on one-on-one, and Sina Candon takes that one.
Yes, he is a 29-year-old player, has been playing 10 years. He was a professional player in the Iranian Premier League. And the Iranian League is one of the top ones in the world. They're number 3. They got the bronze medal at the last World Cup. So a real interesting transition for him to come to Canada.
Sina Candon back the other way. Hits just wide of the net as they try to slide it through and unable to convert.
I thought he was trying to get it over to Rodriguez, but Roca's going to be knocking himself for missing that. He usually never misses from that level.
And a hard foul coming back by Sina Candon. Perhaps a little bit of a show there coming through, Chris.
I know, I'd have to see that one again. It looked like he got the ball first out there, but maybe got clipped.
So Mitchell Sila going down hard as Sina Candon a little disappointed in the call.
And the biggest thing from that is now Toronto Idolo has fouled out, which is where the horn you heard right there indicates. So every foul that's committed right now by Toronto Idolo will result in an unopposed 10-meter PK against Luigi Caruso. So very dangerous times indeed. Do not expect Toronto Idolo right now to press too hard physically defensive. Expect them to make that adaptation. And you know Lorenzo Redwood is barking their orders to make sure no major contact. Do not foul.
Sila will stand over top of the ball. It's a 2-man wall. Gets it through and a save by Caruso, and they clear it off the line. Great job by Luigi Caruso. Goes all the way into the crease to Adam Gamari. Pass up to Sila along the right wing. Takes a touch off, and now Caruso Just going to lay it off out of the back.
You can see the difference. Luis Roca normally would have gone heavy into that tackle out there to prevent it, but he just stood his ground out there to make sure that he didn't get any opportunity for a sixth foul against his team.
Sina Condon far side. He's looking for a call. Try to come back across, but has to be careful. Great job defensively, though, by Luis Roca.
What composure by the young man. Roca is usually very aggressive out here, but he knows what's at stake.
Farsi coming back with numbers. Shot through. Big save again by Caruso.
This goalkeeping's phenomenal. I can't talk enough about Caruso and Gamari. They are keeping their teams alive in this one, big time.
It remains a 1-1 scoreline, and a huge reason, as Chris mentioned, due to the goaltending of Luigi Caruso and Adam Gamari. Usually and typically a high-scoring affair, but has been held in check by the play of these two goaltenders as we approach the end of the opening half. And Gamari just kind of wastes that attempt trying to get it shot through. Sila was standing over top but couldn't quite get contact. And they'll try to stretch back the other way. Damian Graham alone up top. It goes off of Nabuka and out of play. And Idolo will reset on the far side. Pass in to Sina Condon. Post in by Graham to Condon. Condon up top. Goes cross court to Luis Roca. Opens up. Great left foot by Roca, who gets taken down at the end. Sila continuing to push forward. And a miscommunication there in a last-second touch. Roca has to push it forward now. Luis Roca defended by two of the Sporting Outlaws.
They still got that nickname. That was the original. It was called the Sporting Outlaws. And now they've actually switched it where it's just kind of Sporting. And they've gone from Sporting Montreal to Sporting Quebec, Sporting Gatineau. They're trying to expand all across the province in Quebec and doing a great job, the team there at Sporting.
Gets through the legs there of Graham, but he's able to slow it down enough for Condon. Luis Roca lays it off to the back end to Jimenez. Graham posts up top, and Farsi makes contact. Here's coming back in the counter. Shot through, score! Make it 2-1 on the counterattack. And Sporting Montreal takes the lead as we approach the end of the opening half.
Well, Damian Graham is not happy one bit with referee Chris Grabas. Thought he had a contact out there and earned the foul. But you know what? You got to play the referee whistle. And if you're not doing that, you're getting countered. And Montreal, that's the second time they've capitalized on a Toronto Idolo mistake, and that's why they're up 2-1.
Island Canusi gets the goal to make it 2-1 for Montreal. We'll see if Toronto Idolo can even the score before the expiration of the opening half. They lay it inside, try to get it through to Condon as Jean-Gilles gets that ball passed forward. It's going to go off of Condon and stay with Sporting Montreal. And we'll get a timeout upcoming now from Sporting. And Chris taking full advantage of that turnover from Damian Graham, and they come back in the counter, make it 2-1.
Well, if one of your players is getting fouled or whether he's not getting fouled, if he's on the court out there and you know the other team has the ball, you got to get back. This isn't soccer where you can make a mistake and not necessarily be penalized from it, but this is futsal out here, all right? This is you are hunting or you are being hunted. That's how it goes over in this game. And really, when you have Montreal with this much talent, this much depth, especially their offensive prowess, you cannot afford, to sit and kind of jog back to get in the position out there. Otherwise, you get, dreamed upon, and that's exactly what happened out there. And it's the second time in this half that they've done it. So Idolo now is going to sit there. Lorenzo, you can see him giving the instructions to the guys saying, hey, all right, we got to keep the no fouls out there. There's less than a minute left. We got to make sure that we go into this half either only down by a goal or let's see if we can draw it out here. But no stupid fouls, but make sure that you get back into position and manage it up out there. So everybody really is going to have to be in a cohesive unit in order to make sure that they prevent going down 3-1 or even worse at half.
Comes it up top. Jean-Gilles gets it in off the post. So Jean-Gilles looking for his second marker of the game. Gets the poke again, this time well wide of the net. But a great opening half for Montreal as they try to get to the break here with the lead. Roca goes to the near side. Good move inside by Sina Condon, lays it off. Trying to get the cross ball inside as Gamari now going to slow it down, but he gets it up top. Great release by Gamari, even better save though by Caruso, as it was an opportunity for Canusi to get his second of the opening half.
Well, and you can just see that Montreal is exposing the entire left side of the pitch against Toronto Idolo. They have coughed up opportunity after opportunity, and giving a speedy team, a young speedy team like this Montreal side, that much space, it's going to be absolutely imperative that they close that gap down.
And that'll do it for the opening half, Chris. It is Sporting Montreal 2 on the back of goals from Alan Canusi and Berlin Jean-Gilles. Answered back the other way by a PK from Luis Roca. Toronto Idolo at 1, Sporting at 2 at the end of the first half. Any thoughts heading into the second on what you saw there in the opening half from either of these teams?
Well, Sporting came out to play in the first opening 5 minutes out there to showcase they wanted to avenge the loss against Idolo in last year's championship, and they did a remarkable job of that. And they were very, very fortunate, or I should say Toronto Idolo was very fortunate due to the play of Luigi Caruso that this game is not 3 or 4-1 out there. So that excellent goalkeeping is something to give Idolo confidence coming into. But realistically speaking, they need to be more defensively oriented, and they got to make sure that they are backing each other up when they're making those giveaways out there, and play the whistle. Don't play the foul. Don't look at the referee. If you think a foul's happened, who cares? Because if that play's going on and they capitalize like they did on those 2 goals, you're going to see a long day for Idolo coming in. So they're going to really need to take these 15 minutes to make those adjustments if they want to come in and repeat as champions.
Excellent opening half here of the Futsal Canadian Championship gold medal match between Sporting Montreal FC taking on Toronto Idolo Futsal. Sporting leading 2-1 at the end of the first half. Join us back for the second half. You're watching the Futsal Canadian Championship gold medal match live in Kingston.
and a little bit of a treat out here as we got Canadian national team coach, as we got the camera panning in. Kit Saladopoulos. Kit, great to have you back at the national championships. What are your thoughts so far on the game?
It's been good. The final has been great. 4 days of competition have been great. It's nice to see the provinces from Alberta, Manitoba, all coming back, and the territories being here, and everybody improved as the games went on and the days went on. So it's important. That's what we're trying to build.
Well, in talking about building towards something, we got the 2020 World Cup qualifiers coming up next year. A couple of national team players on both sides in this game out here. What have you seen so far from some of the national team player pool?
Some guys are doing good. Some guys, you know, some of them are a little bit rusty, but it's the 4th day and it's explainable. But the next 18 months are very important for everybody, and especially the players. Everybody's going to have to prepare in some certain way to be ready for that qualifier.
And talk about some of the developments. We know you've been traveling across the country, racking up all the big air miles out there, going to all the places across the country. Tell us about some of the trips and some of the things you found across the country in futsal.
It's very positive around the country right now since we started this in 2016. Everybody's behind this. People are working. The passionate people of futsal out there are putting in the work. They're putting in the efforts to get people going and starting leagues. We have 4 leagues across the country. Manitoba, Saskatchewan, Yukon, Quebec. They have leagues and people are playing. The other provinces are playing too, maybe not with leagues, but they're still doing it. They're getting the youth involved. They're getting the adults involved. And it's very positive as a country that in 3 years we've done all this. And it's not me, but it's the country, it's the provinces and the territories that believed in the message of Canadian soccer, and now we're here and we're getting into the final stage of what do we have to do to be ready for the 2020 qualifier.
Excellent. And what else are we looking forward towards? You know, obviously we want to get to the World Cup. That's the big end goal out there in Lithuania 2020. Anything you're looking forward to coming up in the next 18 months towards that?
Yeah, we're going to put the plan. The plan is put together, and we're going to have a camp before 2020 comes in. So sometime in October, November, we'll have a camp with 25 guys. And from there, we're going to cut it down going into the 2020. And we're going to work with a certain amount of players to be ready differently that we were in 2016.
Excellent. And looking forward to the second half. Anything in particular you're looking forward to seeing out here?
No, I just want the show to continue. The fans are into it. You got the Ontario fans on one side, the Quebec fans on the other. It's a good atmosphere. We need more of this in our country. We stay united, and we get the job done in 2020.
Absolutely. Well, ladies and gentlemen, Kit Saladopoulos, Canadian national team futsal coach out here doing a great job. And we're going to get ready right now for the second half of the championship between Sporting Montreal and Toronto Idolo here at Queen's University. Kyle's going to make me do play-by-play or what? Almost like that. You're going to take over the broadcast. That was nice, man. That was nice. I just want to do it in, like, you know, when the Montreal Canadiens, they score a goal. That's all I want. You good? Thanks, brother.
And welcome back to the Athletics and Recreation Center on the campus of Queen's University for the Futsal Canadian Championship gold medal match. It is the second half getting underway here. It is 2-1 for Sporting taking on Toronto Idolo. An excellent opening first half, Chris. We'll see what these two teams can do in the second half here with 20 minutes to go in the national championship.
Most definitely great first half, and you can expect both these teams are going to come out gunning trying to get that title.
Farsi with a kick out of the back right away. And we saw Samir Morsley, Chris, kind of laboring, getting his way to the bench, putting his shoe back on a little bit late here on the bench. So perhaps a little worse for wear out of that opening half. Likely going to continue to stay on here. The shot attempt from Jean-Gilles is blocked nicely there. It goes out of play off of Luis Roca. Corner coming in now from Mala. Goes to the far side here to Farsi. Farsi makes his move around to the left foot. He comes all the way to the back end to Nabuka. Mala. Then up top, Jean-Gilles with a little body pushes off there and then embraces with Caruso.
Gotta love the sportsmanship out there from Jean-Gilles and Luigi.
And the foul was committed on that far side. Come to the near side. Great little flick up top there, though, by Camden, but nobody there on the receiving end from Idolo.
Kind of the stuff you see on those Nike trick shows out there.
Intercepted by Farsi. He'll come back quickly in the counter. Trying to lay it off for Jean-Gilles. Great move around Camden. Lays it off. Just keeping it in on the line. Shot through off the post and out of play. Great shot, though, on the far side by Moa.
Goodness gracious, Mohamed Farsi is just so smooth, it's unbelievable. You'd think that he's processed chocolate with the way that he moves on the court.
Back to the touch here to Camden. Lays it into the corner to Roca. Luis Roca to the back end. And an ill-advised touch out of the back, and that'll bring the Sporting fans to their feet. Mala. And it's going to be a final touch off of Mala, so it'll be a kick-in upcoming now for Idolo. And playing it in will be Luis Roca. Contact out of the back there by Nabuka, and it comes now to Camden. Fakes the shot, trying to get inside on Farsi. Great shot by Camden. Left foot sneaks it inside that near post, and that brings Caruso and the rest of the Idolo bench up to their feet in celebration.
What a phenomenal play and finish there by the Iranian. What an unbelievable little finish of that left foot. Sneaks it in the post. Kamari sitting there saying, man, that was a difficult shot to contain. And he's just got a phenomenal, phenomenal story, that guy. Coming to Canada last year for the first time, bringing his bachelor degree of phys ed and sports science out here. He's got his Asian Football Confederation coaching license. His Sporting almost kind of got back in there.
2-2 the score early on here in the second half. Trying to push back here is Sporting, and now they'll come back again with Sina Camden. Pass to the far side, trying to sneak it through onto that far side.
Well, and Sina wants to impress out there. His mother and his wife are in Iran. He's been in Canada for a year, and again, he's got his mother and his wife back home in Iran. His sister is living over in Vienna, and his uncle is coming over in less than a month out there. So, he's been joining this Toronto Idolo side after playing for the Mississauga Metro Stars in the MASL this season. So, he's bringing back that futsal flavor, and my goodness, what a way to do it, to tie the game in the Canadian Championship.
We'll see what Camden and the rest of Toronto Idolo can do here. They have tied the matchup at 2 goals apiece early on here in the second half of this Futsal Canadian Championship gold medal match. And the culmination, Chris, of what's been an exciting few days here in Kingston once again here at the Athletics and Recreation Center.
No, it's fantastic. This is the 6th year that we've done it. The Futsal Canada tournament initially to going in, and the CSA taking the reins.
Deflection into the bottom corner. Luis Roca goes off a body and deflects down and beats Adam Kamari on that bottom side, near side post.
Any way you can get him out there, and in futsal, you definitely have a lot of deflections, and that one bounced in the right way for Toronto Idolo. What an opening after going into the half, down 2-1, now up by a goal early on into this second half.
And now they're going to make a goaltending switch here, Chris, as Kamari going to come out. Or Kamari going to go back in, it looks like. Didn't even notice the goaltending switch, Chris, at halftime. And it's going to be a red card.
Wow.
So it's Luis Alexander Fuentes Jacinto who's been shown a red card.
Out there, and Alex Fuentes has been a very integral part, a wonderful, wonderful friend of futsal and the community out there. I'm surprised to see the red. I got to figure out what happened on that capacity. He must have mouthed something off over from the sidelines. He must have not been impressed by something with either Toronto Idolo or the referees and made his voice known. That's the only thing I could conjure up there, Kyle.
I didn't even notice, though, Chris, the goaltending switch. So we had Kamari has an excellent opening half. And then Alex Fuentes comes in to start the second half. And in a moment's notice, Chris, he's been shown a red card.
That's unbelievable. That's a turn of events I wasn't expecting. It's less than 2 minutes into the second half out here. The lead switched up quick, which obviously in futsal, that's not too much of a surprise out there. But seeing that red from a usually cool and calm and composed Alex Fuentes, real big surprise here. Unfortunately, it wasn't a red on the court out there, because then Montreal would have been down for 2 minutes like a power play in hockey. I hate making the hockey analogies, but it's the only way people usually pick it up, especially with a new and exciting sport like futsal. So fortunate for Sporting out there, they're still at full strength.
Any idea of the goaltending switch, though? Why they moved away from Gamari?
Oof. Be news to me out there. That first half was absolutely phenomenal, if you ask me. I mean, this goaltending duel has really been the key element of this game so far, in my opinion, out there. I mean, even last year in this game, Luigi Caruso was the MVP of this competition.
Jean-Gilles trying to get Sporting back here in a hurry, trying to come across the face of goal. But again, Gamari, excellent in that opening half, was countering Caruso in every single shot, every stride. And then conceding 2 early goals, followed by that red card by Fuentes. So just an interesting decision, and we'll have to maybe get to the bottom of it after the match here. But Idolo coming out strong here to start this second half, and they're up 3-2.
Hopefully we can get some inside scoop out there from one of our great volunteers here at Canada Soccer and figure out what was going on there. But as it stands, 3-2 Idolo. Big opening 2 minutes for the Toronto side.
Farsi lays it off to Chavez Melendez, Chavez Melendez. And Chavez Melendez going to reset. Farsi coming straight across, lays it off for Nabuka. Trying to get it across the face of goal, can't quite do it there. But great win back by Nabuka, trying to get it towards goal. Good turn inside, he gets tripped up on the edge of the crease. And Nabuka writhing in pain down on the floor. And then just going to clear it out as Caruso comes over to see the pain that Nabuka's in as it's kicked out by Eduardo Jorge.
Yeah, he tried to make that cut and pivot inside there in the goal area, but looked like he really took a knock and maybe hit his kneecap directly on this hardwood court. And it's definitely unforgiving. I mean, when you get tackled and you take a spill on a soccer pitch, I mean, you got that cushion of grass or artificial grass, rubber, soil, to cushion it. But when you hit that wood, I mean, it's not giving anything whatsoever out there to your bone.
So Nabuka still down on the floor. So an excellent start here to the second half, Chris, as Toronto Idolo has come out and taken a 2-1 deficit and turned it into a 3-2 lead. Back-to-back goals on Alex Fuentes. As you see Nabuka coming off the floor after getting taken down hard, and he'll likely spend some time on the sideline until he recovers.
Yeah, I mean, that spectacular tie goal there by Cena to bring it 2-2, and then the deflection off a Roca shot out there just took a bad bounce for Montreal out there. But whatever Lorenzo Redwood had said at halftime into the locker room has really resonated so far, and you can see Idolo's pressing here early on in the second half.
And they'll play it back, and it'll be a goal clearance upcoming now for Caruso as Berlin Jean-Gilles gives the ball back to Idolo. Kept in along the sideline and flicked forward to Graham. Damian Graham posts up, great flick to the outside, score! And things have opened up here now for Toronto Idolo. Smashing that one into the far side corner, Adrian Perez, but Damian Graham does all the legwork, Chris. An excellent layoff from him, and it's 4-2 now for Idolo.
Well, this is definitely by far the best lineup for Toronto Idolo. These guys have been on fire over the last 15, 20 minutes of play. And Adrian Perez, the Toronto native, I've known the kid since he was a teenager at 14. What an absolute blast to go out there and give them a big 2-goal cushion. This is going to be imperative for Montreal to come in and try to stifle this massive momentum that Toronto's built.
Things continuing to unravel here for Sporting Montreal. Farsi gets it back on the right point, shot through. There's a deflection on its way through, and it goes out for a corner. We're staying inbound, so it'll be inbounded on the touch. And they'll go all the way far side, and a wasted shot attempt there from Montreal.
Yeah, and Idolo's going to have to make sure that they don't allow Jean-Gilles to get open out there, because that man is an absolute predator when he is in that goal area. You do not want him getting loose out there and getting any tap-ins on Caruso.
Caught along here, they'll try to get it cleared out by Gamari. As Farsi try to play it out of the back corner. Mohamed Farsi shot through and just over the top there by Berlin Jean-Gilles. Great delivery out of the back by Farsi. Jean-Gilles giving his approval up top on that delivery and that service from Mohamed Farsi.
And we're seeing that red card now. Our sideline reporter, Alex Fletcher, telling us that a red card was issued. Alex Fuentes, he came on just for a tactical reason, but then as soon as he came off, he kicked the water bottle, and that's why he got the ejection.
So coming on, making a tactical decision to switch goalkeepers, but it cost Montreal as Fuentes conceded 2 goals in his brief time on the floor, and after the substitution, makes himself unavailable for the rest of the match due to the red card by kicking that water bottle. He's back to the far side to Farsi here, trying to get his team back in it. Mohamed Farsi been instrumental in the development of this team and how well they've done here this weekend, but they are on their heels, trailing 4-2 now, and conceding 3 second-half goals so far, Chris.
Yeah, definitely not the start Montreal wanted, to say the least. That's obvious, but realistically, this is futsal. Goals can happen at any moment's notice. We saw Saskatchewan score 3 against Alberta in the opening 29 seconds of their pivotal duel yesterday. So this can change at a moment's notice out here. It's like South African weather. You got the big storm happening, and 15 minutes later, you got bright skies all across. So get ready for this. You know Montreal is going to come out gunning.
Farsi going to have to be pivotal in that. Lays it off to the far side. Can't quite get it through as it goes off the leg there of Morsley, who's back onto the floor after spending some time on the bench to start the second half. Morsley trying to get a little misdirection and get the ball inside to Jean-Gilles. And now be played in here by Idolo. To the far side, Farsi collects a little push in the back there on Morsley. Gets it across back to Mohamed Farsi. Farsi to Berlin Jean-Gilles. Farsi trying to get a lane to shoot through. And they'll play now the kick in on the far side from Farsi. Morsley along the deck. Can't quite get it through though, as Jean-Gilles waiting for it in front of goal. Perez trying to get it through. Berlin Jean-Gilles gets it turned over. Jean-Gilles score! 4-3, Sporting gets one back.
Every single goal that Sporting has scored has been as a result of a defensive lapse by Toronto Idolo, and that one was probably the worst of the bunch so far.
And a little bit going on in the stands here, Chris.
Calmer heads will prevail out there. It's an exciting game. You know, big tensions, big rivalry, Toronto-Montreal. But both these clubs are friends. They have a great, valuable respect for each other. A lot of national team players that play with each other. They talk. So some of the fans sometimes just get a little overzealous. But now things have calmed down and things should be all right. But what an opening to the second half, though. Those first opening 5 minutes.
You see members of Olympia over there as well, Chris. They're just coming off a tough loss in the bronze medal match against GTA Futsal.
Not a bad game at all out there. Jaime Meza getting to at least a medal match for the 3rd consecutive year out there. Wonderful work by everyone over in Saskatchewan. You know, very new to futsal, but Jaime Meza, the Colombian coach who trained and went to courses with World Cup champions like Fernando Ferretti. It's been nothing but phenomenal work out there by everyone at the Saskatchewan Soccer Association, Saskatoon Futsal League, and all the great people out there in the prairies. So great job out to them. And of course the GTA Futsal for winning the bronze out there.
So a little delay after some extracurriculars going on in the bleachers, as fans of Sporting Montreal getting their team back in this one and being encouraged by Berlin Jean-Gilles, getting the crowd fired up. And we are bound to see a fireworks finish here in this second half, as Idolo possesses the ball but dribbles it out of bounds by John-Alec Dueñas, who I think we're seeing for the first time in this game, Chris. Pass to the far side, Dueñas with pressure in on Farsi. Candon joining the party as well. Makes a couple of deflections and trying to make its way around. They'll try to reset. Yorgate to the back end. Caruso stretching up top. It's going to go all the way through to Gamari. He's going to lay it off to Farsi.
And you see this physicality over here off the ball right now with Jean-Gilles and Eduardo towards the Toronto Idolo goal out there. Eduardo's on a yellow card already, so he's got to be exceptionally careful that he does not leave the game. He is one of the best players in Canada, let alone just for this Idolo side, and losing him would be absolutely brutal for Toronto Idolo if they have any ambitions of winning this title.
Go across to Candon. Jorge to Candon. Sina Candon looking for his second marker of this second half. Intercepted back the other way, but it's intercepted for the time being by Dueñas. He'll come back. Berlin Jean-Gilles just wide of the net, and he's going to make a quick substitution because he'll come off the floor and give way to Mitchell Sila.
The 32-year-old's got 5 goals coming into this game out here. He's just a fantastic player to watch out there. And as we said, the man's a predator. You leave him alone with shots, and things are going to happen.
Pass coming into the far side. Trying to recycle back around. Pressure in up top on Rodriguez. Goes back to the point. Chipped in up top. Just flicked towards goal from Candon. High stretch up top to Sila. He's got options and help behind him. Is it going to be out of bounds? No, they're going to say it stayed in.
He was fortunate that pass didn't get over to his teammate out there, Manuel Chavez, because Chavez was wide open, and that could have been a breakaway against Caruso. Idolo's got to watch out. Their defense is lapsing.
Ibuka, hard shot by Farsi. No contact there by Caruso as it's going to skim over top of the crossbar. Going to be a clearance upcoming now for Toronto Idolo. Perhaps going to get some floor maintenance here, get the towels out.
The good local volunteers here in the wonderful city of Kingston doing a fantastic job across the board. So we got to tip our hats off to all the volunteers with Canada Soccer, Queen's University, and of course the city of Kingston. These local youth kids doing a phenomenal job.
Caruso plays the ball in up top for Rodriguez. Farsi trying to clear it out. About 7 minutes gone by here in the second half. With 13 remaining. Farsi. Pass to the far side. Sila. Left toe poke just well wide of the net. Caruso giving a thumbs up. Well defended by Jorge. As Rodriguez opening up now to collect up top. And then no help coming through as he's on his back trying to play the ball out. Manuel Melendez coming back in the counter as Dueñas lays it off. Candon. And Candon makes contact, and there to make the call is that near side official as Manuel Melendez will be called on the foul.
Hey, not an awful foul for Chavez to take, given what we saw Sina do earlier and bury that left-footed shot when he cut on the inside there. So, you're sitting there. There are only 2 fouls in, about 12-16 left here in the second half, so not a bad foul to take there.
So Chavez and Nabuka now will form a 2-man wall. Jorge will stand up over top. Now Rodriguez will take and hits it right into the wall. That Chavez was anchoring on that outside. Dueñas trying to regroup here. Comes back to the back end. Going to send it through, and Sila will be called for the handball. We'll come back the other way. And Chris, John-Alec Dueñas, somebody we've talked a lot about, especially with this Toronto side when he was with the youth program.
Yeah, Dueñas out there, I've been friends with the family for a long time. I know his uncle Pablo and his cousin Chris are watching right now from somewhere in the world out there. And the Dueñas family, John-Alec, one of just the nicest kids you'll ever meet out there.
Great move by Farsi to get out of trouble. Even better answer by Jorge defensively. And a step over there. No call, and now they'll call after no advantage. Ball getting kicked high up into the rafters. Great footwork coming through, though, by Luis Roca. And he's cleaned out at the end.
Well, we just saw a yellow card issued there over to Sporting Montreal. But the big thing out here, 11:46 left in the second half, Kyle, and they already have 4 fouls. Toronto has 0. Usually it's the other way around because Idolo is the more aggressive team. But here now, Montreal's got to be very careful because if they foul out, as we said, every subsequent foul after, an unopposed PK, and that's the last thing you want to face when you're already down a goal here in the championship.
Standing up over top of the ball, going to be 2 men in the wall, anchored by Farsi. In there with Sila, and they'll try to lay it off. No, goes straight into the wall from Jorge, and they're going to play it back to Caruso. Feeling the pressure up top from Sila, but stretches it in up top to Rodriguez. Option for the layoff to Dueñas, or by Roca. Not going to get it. Shot through by Sila, and a big save by Luigi Caruso, who is going to appeal and lobby here for time after getting clipped. And again, another injury where not the most comfortable spot to be hit in.
Well, he's definitely grabbing an area no man ever wants to get hit in out there, and hopefully it's just a slight little groin issue that he's going to come and bounce back from. Luigi Caruso is one of the toughest kids out there in futsal today, and this happened to him in the final last year as well. There was a big worry about him pulling his groin out there, but he stood it up, stayed in the game out there, and ended up leading this team to the championship, as well as generating the most valuable player award in the tournament, as per Canada Soccer.
So Caruso got a huge part of the success of this Toronto Idolo team, and will have to hopefully be okay here to finish out the game. Again, that's a hard contact off that shot coming through, and difficult to recover from, so we'll see how Caruso holds up here.
Well, we hope he pops up out there, but we know that backup keeper Alberto Palencia is starting to warm up just a little bit, getting a little loose, sitting there. You want to come in this championship game with the mentality that you are ready to go at any moment's notice, because in futsal anything can certainly happen. It's not cliche. We've seen it year after year in every single championship game. Something always happens that's unique, that changes the course and the outcome of the match.
So briefly here in our injury timeout, it is 4-3 for Toronto Idolo. 3 second half goals for Toronto Idolo to take the lead. Goals from Toronto Idolo coming in the form of Sina Candon, 2 from Luis Roca, and 1 from Adrian Perez, which has put them in standing currently, Chris, as the game-winning goal. Goals on the other side, 2 from Berlin Jean-Gilles and 1 from Alan Canusi.
Well, and that brings Jean-Gilles Berlin up to 7 total goals out here. Still the leading goal scorer of this team, though. A man we don't get to talk about too much so far, but we know we're thinking about him, is Mitchell Sila. Just an absolute dynamite player. 8 goals, 3 assists so far. Great players all across the board, great attacking, and you can definitely bet Sporting's going to be bringing their A-game offense to try and tie this up and take the title.
Well, Caruso still getting tended to in the Idolo goal. Just put a bit of a delay here in the second half. Maybe giving a bit of time for his guys to rest.
Well, it's good to see him back up out there, the Queen's University physiotherapist, playing around with Luigi's hand out there, maybe jammed of a finger of some sort out there. It looked initially like a groin or a knockout there, but thankfully one of the national team player pool MVP kind of guys coming in and still able to hold the fort down for Toronto Idolo.
Play it to the back end to Nabuka. Now Farsi. Farsi going to regroup, taking on Rodriguez.
I don't think Farsi has come off the pitch for a single second in this game out here. This kid has absolute energy to burn out there, and that's why he's got the captain's armband at the age of 19.
Farsi gets around Rodriguez, and it'll be a Idolo possession here on the far side.
What an amazing explosive first step by Farsi. I can't get enough of the kid. He's personally my MVP so far.
Holding at the back is Candon. Posting up top, Rodriguez trying to spin and get loose. Chance inside, and Luis Roca unable to convert his 3rd of the game. And Roca now in on the corner. As they come into Candon, can't quite get it clean. Now the stretch ball in up top to Sila, a little bit out of his reach there as it's sent forward by Gamari.
You could imagine if it wasn't for 3 or 4 of those clutch big-time saves in the first half that Sporting might have a couple of extra conceded goals out there. You can see Caruso, speaking of goalkeepers, he keeps grabbing that finger out there. So you wonder if Sporting's going to just start to, put it on and make sure that, he's punching it out, hurt his hand a little more, and get a rebound.
2 hands in the back, and they're going to call the foul on Sila or Nabuka, who came straight through the back of Rodriguez with both hands, Chris. Trying to get some body separation, and the referee right there to make the call on the far side.
And that is going to be the 5th foul. I just want to hear the horn out here from the 3rd official at the desk.
And that's trouble.
There's that horn. There's that horn. This is big, big trouble out here. So that's 5 fouls. Sporting Montreal has fouled out of the game with plenty of time in the second half. So every foul now here on in that Sporting commit is going to lead to that unopposed PK with more than 10:45 left in the second half. Not good news whatsoever for Sporting.
And Chris, that foul can come anywhere on the floor as well, not just in the offensive zone. So any foul from Montreal, whether it's towards the goal of Idolo or their own, any foul on the floor now could be a spot kick.
Well, and the thing is, Toronto Idolo has so many experienced players, they know how to get those fouls out there. Marco Rodriguez, he knows how to draw a foul. He did 2 of them alone in the first half, just generated that one there. Sporting didn't like the call, their fans certainly didn't like it, but the reality is, you got 2 of the best referees in the country, and Chris Grabus and Philip Duich out there. You know they're going to be making the calls as best as they possibly can.
Idolo trying to run a delay, and it's intercepted back here for Montreal as Farsi continues to create some separation, come down the left wing, trying to get it pushed through now with Canusi. Plays it back to Nabuka. Nabuka looking for help. We go to Canusi. Canusi going to push forward now, trying to take on They'll come back in the counter now as Idolo shot with the left foot. Great release though by Roca, even better save by Gamari. And it'll go out to the touch now as Roca unable to get there in time. Canusi plays it into Nabuka.
This crowd is absolutely on edge. You could see everyone just standing, moving around, biting their nails. Fans from Montreal, fans from Toronto, fans from Ottawa, Kingston. Phenomenal atmosphere here at Queen's University. Goodness, what a wicked way to have a final go on.
Camden getting defended nicely on Farsi. And that stretch out of the back will get a substitution. Rodriguez going to come off the floor. And we'll see Yusuf on the floor now for Toronto Idolo. Going to be on a foul now, this time on Idolo. Farsi out of the defensive zone, getting challenged by Yusuf. Farsi still taking on Yusuf, lays it off to the far side. Shot through, score! And we're tied at 4. And the goal from Abdel Nabuka makes it 4-4, Chris.
I got to be honest, I didn't like that matchup with Yusuf going against Mohamed Farsi out there, both number 15s. You know, even though Yusuf has 3 games and 3 goals, you know, so far in the tournament out there, that's something. You go against Mohamed Farsi, you better have the most explosive player watching him. Otherwise, he finds a little open space, makes that pass, and you get buried alive. And now, 4-4 with just over 9 minutes left. You can hear the crowd. You can feel the shaking of our broadcast table up here. We are in for a treat for the rest of this game.
So after conceding 3 goals here in the second half, 2 back the other way now for Montreal, and we're tied at 4. An excellent gold medal match here thus far with still plenty of time left to give us even more fireworks. And here comes Farsi. 2-on-1 for Montreal. Farsi can't get it across yet. Farsi unloads and cleared out nicely by Idolo. And just so much danger with his foot on the ball is Mohamed Farsi.
That's it. He's the game breaker. As I said it once, I'll say it again. He's my game MVP today out there. If he scores the winning goal, you definitely can't deny him of that. He's just so explosive. His vision on the court, he finds guys open in ways that other players don't. And at 19 years of age, this kid's only going to get better.
Canusi continuing to use his speed to his advantage as Yusuf.
Ooh, that was a soft call in my opinion out there. But, you know, that's why the refs got the FIFA badge and we don't.
So it'll be a foul here on Toronto Idolo.
The good news, that's only their second foul out there for Idolo, whereas Sporting's already fouled out. So Sporting, when they defend, they're going to have to play more positional and make sure that they're not going in very aggressive and causing any physicality.
Montreal, Chris, using their speed, though, and isolating on Yusuf. It's how they scored the game-tying goal, and they continue to target him on defense. Big save, though, by Caruso, and they clean it out defensively.
They almost got distracted out there, as you saw. Shaquille Michaud out there sitting behind the goal line out there, trying to get Caruso off his game, but Caruso's too good of that to get distracted.
Jean-Gilles post, gets the shot loose. Jean-Gilles opens up just wide of the net. Berlin Jean-Gilles out there with Michaud, Carusi, and Farsi. What a dangerous group of 4 out there now for Montreal.
Toronto's preserving most of their best guys. I know Adrian Perez is deadly on that wing, as we saw with his left strike earlier out there, but these guys are going to want to make absolute sure that they do not cough up the ball.
Inside to Jimenez, trying to keep Farsi at bay. Jimenez still with it along the line. They go back to Caruso. They're stretching up top to Yusuf. Yusuf collects, lays it off. Get that left shot through, deflected just off the foot there of Farsi and out of play. Frustration starting to set in for some of the Toronto Idolo players. A little disappointment there on the face of Edson Jimenez, trying to get it out in the front of the face of goal. Here comes Michaud. Michaud lays it off to Berlin Jean-Gilles. Carusi getting back in time. Good job defensively to cut it through was Jimenez. But possession will go to a corner for Canusi. 4-4 between Sporting Montreal and Toronto Idolo in the Futsal Canadian Championship gold medal match. We are into the second part of this second half. And Farsi trying to take on Youssef one-on-one. Lays it to the outside to Jean-Gilles. And straight across, Michaud trying to present as an option.
Well, we talked about Alain Canusi earlier. He's the youngest player in this team at 17 years old. He's been playing futsal for 5 years. Canadian-born, but like many players on this Sporting Montreal team, North African descent, particularly here from Algeria, won the provincials against Sporting Quebec, and he's been a very, very big part of the Sporting Montreal side and why they got into the final.
Excellent job there by Farsi to shield the ball and allow it to go out for a goalie clearance. And then they come back to Nabuka, who got the third goal of the game here for Montreal. Farsi coming out, patient with the ball, makes his quick first step shot. What a shot through, and unbelievable how that stayed out. As Farsi just tees off on a ball, Chris, hits the crossbar straight down to the floor.
And Caruso took a big knock. I got to be honest, I'd love to see that replay again, to be honest, because that ball, to me, it looked like it may have taken a bounce over the line. But that shot was so vicious. It hit the crossbar, bounced in and out, and thankfully they cleared it out there. But goodness gracious, Sporting Montreal really laying it on thick now, trying to get that go-ahead goal.
What an unbelievable crack from Mohamed Farsi. And I agree, Chris, it went off the crossbar, went straight down. But again, no goal line technology obviously here, so very tough to tell. But an unbelievable strike by Mohamed Farsi. And then Caruso takes the worst of bodies and feet and everything else in the mix on that rebound attempt. So I think Caruso may have gotten the worst of all of that, but disappointment for sure by Farsi in Montreal after an unbelievable shot that again may have crossed the line, but too tough to tell as that ball bounced out at the last second.
And you had the referee out there, Philip Duich, watching it, and he waved it off immediately, so he's very confident in his call.
Farsi, again, that quick first step, but it's answered by Damian Graham. Lays it back to Farsi. Mohamed Farsi taking on Graham, looking for some help. Farsi lays it off into the corner. Canusi trying to keep hold, and they'll go to Farsi. He's got Nabuka far side. They go to Nabuka on the far right wing. Trying to stretch up top. It'll get through. Caruso wisely out to make a save and prevent a corner. Lays it off, though, for Graham. Great battle back and forth between these two sides. A lot of swings and momentum in this game. It was all Montreal early. And then Idolo comes back to start the second half with 3 unanswered, and then 2 back the other way, Chris.
Well, intelligent maneuvering by coach Marwan Lanidi, one of the most underrated coaches out here in Canada, already has a national championship under his belt. This is his 3rd tournament out there. He's the technical director as well of Sporting Montreal, Moroccan-born kid. I know his cousin is watching Ali out there. He told me to mention that there. So, Ali, I hope you're enjoying your cousin doing a great job here at Sporting Montreal.
Farsi makes his way out, carrying the ball up on his own. Farsi continues to be that point person here. Shot through with the left foot well wide of the net. Perhaps looking for the cross ball to Berlin Jean-Gilles. And now Nabuka getting back in time to post up on Damian Graham. Nabuka, an excellent defender, but Graham comes off, gets the shot away. Now Jorge trying to keep it alive, and it's cleared well wide of Jean-Gilles and out of play.
Well, this is the line that Toronto Idolo wants out. They want to have Eduardo, Damian Graham, Luis Roca, and they want to make sure they have Adrian Perez out there because they performed the best so far.
Jorge coming back, lays it off to Perez on the near side. Graham posting in the corner. Perez trying to get it through, and it's defended by Jean-Gilles. Back to Jorge. Now to Luis Roca. Roca to the left foot, cuts back to the right. They'll set up to the top to Jorge. Pass to Perez, being defended by Farsi. They'll reset once again to Jorge, back to Perez. Movement up top by Graham and Roca. Here is Perez, being defended again by Farsi. Lays it off inside to Graham, can't quite make the move between Farsi and Nabuka, and it'll go out for a clearance for Montreal. Again, continuing to sit on that 5th foul, Chris, but they have been ever so disciplined here since the infraction of that 5th foul.
You have no choice to be in that scenario. The last thing you want to do in a tie game for a title is lose out due to that 6th and subsequent foul PK. Nobody likes that out there. It really hurts, but that's the game overall in general, right? So Sporting playing much more meticulous, a little more composed, and that's because of great coaching and the players buying into their system.
They'll try to come back in the counter. Coming slide through to Roca. Touch ball, can't quite get it across. Caruso there to make the save, but did he touch it in time? And it looks as though it'll be a clearance upcoming.
So Toronto Idolo was just issued a foul out there, so that's now their third foul with 4 minutes to go.
Touchdown inside to Graham. Damian Graham comes back to the top. Great chip over the top. It'll be collected. Trying to get it sent through to Roca. And now being held. Touched in by Canusi. Got to be careful with Luis Roca. Good move by Canusi to get through. Still with the ball is Canusi. Now Farsi coming down the left wing. Hard contact there by Candon. It's going to be issued a yellow card. Asina Candon will undercut there, and there's collision with Farsi and Damian Graham, but the initial foul there by Sina Candon.
Yeah, Sina getting the yellow card out there, and it looks like he took a massive shoulder hit. You could see him wincing in pain right now. He is not comfortable in any capacity. Goodness, let's hope it's not a serious injury.
Farsi getting tended to here by the medical training staff at Queens.
That is the last player you want to see injured if you're Sporting Montreal right now out there. Just a phenomenal. We've talked about this kid on all day long. His contribution to this club and his dominance cannot be underestimated. And he's grabbing the back of his head, grabbing his neck out there. He's a soldier, though. This kid's 19. He's going to be able to recover, get back into it. He's good to go. That's what we want to see. And good sportsmanship with him and Sina out there. That's the good thing about these two clubs, is that they have a great rivalry with each other, but they have such a profound respect, and that's because of their continual high-level matches against each other out there. And in fact, a lot of these guys play in the national team, so always great to see that in futsal.
Morsley comes on and will replace Farsi. Nabuka standing over top of the ball, giving direction in up top to Jean-Gilles, shot through. It'll be sent out. It's actually Mitchell Sila in up top.
And with 8 goals in the tournament already, Mitchell Sila is a guy who can snipe you from any single moment's notice on this court.
Nabuka trying to get the stretch up top to Sila. Great connection. Little too ambitious, though, in the corner. And hard contact sails the ball well over top of the goal.
What a finish. 3:20 left on the clock. Tied game. Montreal fouled out. 4 fouls for Idolo, so they're certainly not escaping the wrath of the referees either.
Try to get it reset. And held up. There was Rodriguez. Nabuka, great movement. Ball across. Sila just out of touch. Unbelievable chance there for Mitchell Sila.
And that could be the play of the game right there from Luigi Caruso. That had goal written all over it from the most potent striker on Sporting Montreal. That could be the difference, Kyle. Will it? We'll see with 3 minutes left.
Glorious opportunity for Montreal to regain the lead. And now it's going to be a turnover as Farsi going to come back out onto the floor. As Jorge awaiting the ball, they go to the far side to Candon. Sina Candon gets the shot through, and now they'll come back in the counter.
Don't like that decision. One bit by Sina.
Shot through, deflected just wide again. Looking for the foul call was Mitchell Sila. Getting taken down, though, no call, and Caruso wisely letting that one go out the back.
Out there where Chris Grabus was in a great position to see if it was indeed a penalty out there, but he made the decision not to.
Rodriguez holds with 3 in the box, and it's turned over again, Chris.
It's astounding to me because Rodriguez has either been super hot or super cold out there, and I mean, he's just not looking on fire like he normally does for the national team.
Great job defending coming back as Farsi was coming through. Luis Roca doing it at both ends of the floor here today, Chris. And a good turn inside. It's going to go out of play. And if you're looking for someone aside from maybe Luigi Caruso to be the game MVP for Idolo, you would have to think that maybe Luis Roca would be in the mix.
Most certainly about that. And we see Lorenzo Redwood pointing to Damian Graham. Get ready to come on the court out here.
Last deflected out. It's going to be possession to Montreal as Farsi gets it off of Rodriguez. Going to be a timeout coming now to Montreal.
That's great. Each team gets 1 timeout per half out there, and Montreal definitely wants to make sure that they're setting up their proper game plan. We talked about the wonderful coaching capabilities of Marwan Lanidi out there, and I mean his ability to come out and lead these guys. I mean, he's the youngest coach to ever win a title out here at a Canadian Championship, and I mean that speaks for something out there. He's got 3 consecutive titles out here. He knows he's been here before. They lost last year in disappointing fashion to Idolo, who were absolutely dominant in last year's final. But this one, quite frankly, I'm going to speak bluntly and say this has been the best Canadian Championship match in history. I will definitely go out and say that. And he wants to go out to try and win his 2nd title and match Lorenzo Redwood of Toronto Idolo, who currently has the record of national titles. So we're going to see some adjustments out here. You know Montreal's hungry. They're unified. You can just see it on their faces right now in the timeout from up here.
So an excellent back and forth here between Sporting Montreal out of Quebec and Toronto Idolo out of Ontario. Just getting a replay at a couple of the highlights here, including that shot from Mohamed Farsi. Went straight off the crossbar and down. Obviously nothing can be done about it now, but did look as though on the replay it was an incredibly close call.
I know everybody watching at home is screaming the 3 letters VAR.
Jean-Gilles posting in up top. Great poke through, but it goes wide of the net. As Jean-Gilles with that right foot can't quite cut across. As Caruso will lay the ball in. And now posting it up top is Graham. Damian Graham. Got to be careful not to foul here if you are Montreal. Chip in tight, and coming out to collect is Gamari. And a stretch high. And good contact made as going up for it was Caruso. And Jean-Gilles taking the worst of that collision. Farsi will come to the back. And you can't quite get it split through. Now the reset. Back into Farsi. Great hold in defensively. Farsi looking up court. Gets the split through. Now coming in is Gabouk. Touch in off the post. Berlin Jean-Gilles gets a foot on the delivery there. Unbelievable turn. As Jean-Gilles can't convert, and it remains 4-4.
And as we said, Idolo's downfall has been their defensive lapses. When you're giving these guys space, either it's Jean-Gilles or you're giving it out to their other attackers out there. I mean, we've seen it time and time again.
Here's Farsi in the counter. Makes his way around and thought that Jean-Gilles was still upright and making his way towards goal. But Jean-Gilles was on the deck, kind of clutching at the back of his head, as Farsi unaware. Final minute remaining here in regulation. It is a 4-4 deadlock between Idolo and Sporting, with extra time looming.
And these fouls carry over if it does go into extra time.
Lays off, far side, great shot on target. Caruso makes the save. And they'll try to reset. Now it's coming back in the counter. Intercepted, here's Berlin, Jean-Gilles. Can he be the difference maker? Can't quite lay it off as Graham gets the ball through and then just cleared out by Farsi. Jean-Gilles spent a lot of time here on the deck over the last couple of minutes, Chris.
Yeah, this is an intense game out there. My heart is absolutely beating. You can see the fans across this court here at Queen's University just absolutely wanting to see something definitive. And there could be the title match foul. My goodness, with 29 seconds left, an unopposed 10-meter PK. Adam Gamari versus Eduardo Yaragüe. Bullets. My goodness, this could be it, Kyle.
What a heartbreaking way to go out if this is in fact a goal here by Toronto Idolo. It is the 6th foul with 29 seconds left to go in the second half. Nothing that the referee could do but blow the whistle, Chris. A certain foul coming through, and just heartbreak here for Sporting if this is to go in from Eduardo Yaragüe.
Well, the 23-year-old nicknamed LK was kicking himself for causing that foul out there. Let's see if one of the best goalies in all of Canada can stop one of the best shooters in Canadian futsal history in Eduardo Yaragüe.
Yaragüe with an opportunity to put the gold medal around the necks of Toronto Idolo. But Adam Gamari standing in the way to perhaps push this into extra time. Yaragüe steps up. Yaragüe shot through, well wide of the net, Chris, and spoiled on that shot attempt. Gamari didn't have to move.
Yeah, that shot was at least 2 meters wide of the net out there, and Sporting Montreal, especially LK, who caused the foul, wiping his head and sitting there saying, thank the futsal gods for that.
Caruso, one last opportunity coming in. trying to sell that one. Coming back the other way, here is Farsi. And will just be cleared forward now to Gamari. Final few seconds ticking away here. One last opportunity. Caruso coming out and punching that one clear. And Chris, we are destined to see extra time between Toronto Idolo and Sporting Montreal for the right to claim the 2019 Futsal Canadian Championship gold medal. And what a way to do so. An excellent second half, as both of these teams are now going to get geared up for an extra time period. And it'll be 2 5-minute halves here, Chris, for the extra time. So an extra 10 minutes to go here between these two sides, with a bit of a break upcoming. The end of the second half, we're coming back momentarily to watch extra time between Toronto Idolo and Sporting Montreal. And welcome back to the Athletics and Recreation Center on the campus of Queen's University in Kingston, Ontario. It is the Futsal Canadian Championship gold medal match between Toronto Idolo and Sporting Montreal. Been an exceptional game here, back and forth, Chris. A lot of shifts and momentum. Montreal starting things off well. Idolo answering back at the start of the second half. And then Montreal with 2 unanswered to close out the second half, getting us ready for 2 5-minute extra time periods.
You couldn't ask for a better finish to the championship. 4-4, Sporting Montreal versus Toronto Idolo. Foul is carried over extra time, and that is the 5th foul. Both teams now fouling out. Oh, this is going to be something else. 2 extra 5s every foul here on in. That 10-meter PK, as we saw from 29 seconds left when Eduardo Yaragüe missed a key opportunity to clinch the title for Toronto.
Nabuka stepping over top of the ball, going to take the free kick opportunity here for Montreal. Standing over top, great shot and excellent save by Luigi Caruso. The save of the tournament so far, Chris.
By far, that was an absolutely phenomenal shot out there by LK, and even bigger save by Luigi Caruso, who we thought had some injuries with his hand, thought something with his groin, and he just leapt off the court like it was nothing.
Nabuka back, collects at half, lay it off for Farsi. Farsi taking on Rodriguez one-on-one, lays it off into the corner. Jean-Gilles posting up inside. It's going to be a turnover. Going to be a kick in now upcoming for Idolo. Caruso out of the back and just a wasted shot clearance there. Goes right to the hands of Adam Kamari. Essentially a turnover. Goes right back here to Farsi. Mohamed Farsi back out onto the floor after getting hard contact towards the end of the second half. Farsi gains way, gets past Rodriguez, lays it off into Nabuka in the corner. Great foot movement by Nabuka. Trying to get a seam and get the defense of Idolo to open up and get a lane to shoot through. So Nabuka going to clear the ball in. He's got Farsi up towards the top. Farsi in the defensive zone. They're going to come all the way back to him and allow him to come in one-on-one. Good first step by Farsi. Deflects out. It's going to be a corner, and that's a huge difference maker that Farsi brings to the table, Chris, is that explosive first step.
No question about it, and I'm starting to notice a little pattern out here for Sporting Montreal. They're going to be bringing the ball back to Farsi, who's going to be finding either Jean-Gilles or finding another attacker, perhaps Mitchell Sila just sitting right into the goal area, just hovering in front of Caruso, but behind Eduardo Uruguay, who will play every single minute in this extra time.
And deflected out. It's going to go to the way of Sporting. Last deflected out on the far side by Christian Samaniego. Farsi trying to get around Rodriguez, posting up inside. And they'll come to Nabuka here on the left point. Great layoff to Farsi, shot through wide of the net. As Farsi had a great opportunity to get the first goal of extra time. Caruso lays it out here to Perez. Adrian Perez, 1 goal to his name in this championship match. Switching spots far side with Samaniego. They'll come back to Perez. And Rodriguez can't quite collect, and it'll go out of play. As Nabuka will play it in. He's got Farsi out of the back. And Farsi, again, a big first step. Goes to the far side, can't quite get it across. Farsi will, though, get there to intercept. And will take first kick in here. Lays it off for Nabuka. He's got Canusi on the far side. Nabuka to Farsi. Farsi holds. Lays it off for Jean-Gilles, and it bounces straight up in the air. Kept in by Rodriguez, and he's going to come away with it, taking on Nabuka one-on-one. Great defense by Nabuka. A chance back the other way, though. Perez. And it's an ill-advised pass by Perez, trying to get it through to Rodriguez, but defended nicely there by Sporting.
Well, it was a great opportunity for Adrian Perez, because if he didn't pinch out there, Montreal would have had a 2v1, and that would have been dangerous, to say the least, especially with this lineup that's on with Mohamed Farsi and Jean-Gilles.
Touch into the corner. It's going to be a kick in now for Montreal. Pass to the far side to Farsi. Farsi looking up court, looking for help. He's got Jean-Gilles pinching in the far side corner. And Farsi taking it on himself. A tough angle to shoot through there for Mohamed Farsi.
Not his best touch of the day, but when you're the best player on the court, you're allowed 1 or 2 bad touches.
Laid forward now as Caruso will play the ball forward. Trying to get it through. Pass to the far side to Perez. Trying to come back across the face of goal, and a touch kick through as they go out the width of the court. Trying to get it across there to Luis Roca.
Far too much pepper in that hot sauce pass there by Adrian Perez. He knows better to blow an opportunity like that.
Comes through. They try to get it through to Jean-Gilles. It's defended out of the back, though, by Idolo. Coming in from the touch. Straight cross. It'll try to come out the back is Farsi. Touch inside to Nabuka. Canucci. Back to Farsi. Push into the corner to Nabuka. He's defended out of the back and looking for a foul. Not going to get it, though, as, again, both teams on the foul count, and any subsequent foul now will be a spot kick. So both teams having to be disciplined here. Shot inside by Jean-Gilles. Coming back in the counter now is Idolo. Had to lay it off. Chances out in front. Great job by Perez to get it through, but Farsi there to collect. Farsi battling with Damien Graham. There's a chance. Back through. Jean-Gilles can't get it through. Had Nabuka streaking in on the far side.
Oh, both teams are going for it right here.
Back to the point here to Farsi. And again, patience is the key here for Mohamed Farsi taking on Damien Graham. If there's anybody on Toronto Idolo who can match that first step of Farsi, it is Graham. A good job by him to continue to defend on Mohamed Farsi. And now a couple switches here for Idolo. As you see Chris back onto the court, Sina Kandran. See if he can be the difference maker once again here for Toronto Idolo.
Well, he's got plenty of experience. He played in the Azerbaijan League and the Iranian League out there.
Posting up, big save. Excellent job with the feet by Adam Gamari.
I mean, we talked about how valuable Mohamed Farsi is, but Adam Gamari, if he's not making a play for most valuable player for this team, I don't know who is.
Be a corner kick one upcoming now as a shot attempt from Jean-Gilles goes off a leg and out of play. Trying to kick it in now is Island Kanusi.
And there we see the ball going to Farsi. Shaquille Michaud getting wide open out there.
Farsi gets the shot attempt through, but it's blocked and deflected out of play. And now Jean-Gilles going to make his way towards the bench. And a little floor cleanup as Jean-Gilles will come off the floor and give way to Mitchell Sila.
And you can just see the strategy. Montreal's just trying to spread the court out, open it up, because they see Shaquille Michaud. They see all these players like Jean-Gilles coming in, and especially Mitchell Sila, who has the most goals for Sporting in this tournament. And they're just hovering in that goal area. They're hovering in front of Luigi, making him think. But the defenders in Idolo have been caught 3 times out of the 4 goals that they conceded out there. And it looks almost, if they cause one more mistake, it could cost them the championship.
Farsi holding on, being defended by Roca. Posting it up top to Sala. Shot through on the shot attempt coming from Mitchell Sila.
That's good positioning there by Toronto Idolo number 9, Damien Graham, also part of the national team player pool. One of the players that national team coach Kit Saladopoulos, who joined us at halftime, is definitely going to be keeping tabs on.
Pass to the far side, trying to get it through to Luis Roca. Graham on the edge, trying to battle with Shaq Michaud. As Graham will post up in the corner, lays it off to the back. They will regroup from Yorge. Pass to the far side to Candon. Shot through from Candon and saved by Gamari. And he'll lay it off for Farsi.
You know Sina's going to want that left foot attempt. He scored that absolute beautiful inside shot early in the second half out there that changed the momentum in the favor of Toronto. But the positioning of Montreal a little too much right now to try anything of that regard again.
Cutting in through is a shot coming through. No foul. They're going to go back the other way to Graham. Graham to Candon. Sina Candon trying to go left foot.
That's where he scored that goal from we were just talking about out there. To me, it didn't look like a foul, but you know those Sporting Montreal fans, they are absolutely passionate on the end of their seats. They were not agreeing with that referee call one bit.
And that'll do it for the first extra time period. No score as the teams switch off. Big saves at both ends. That diving save in the air from Caruso, Chris, a huge game changer. Adam Gamari answering the call at the other end. These two stealing the show here in the Futsal Canadian Championship gold medal match.
No question. This has been a goalkeeper duel, to say the least. Both keepers have taken an absolute hard knocks on these unforgiving hardwood courts out there, but providing big leg and toe save and big diving saves out there, the one of which in the extra half, the first frame there, Caruso making was beyond phenomenal and frankly saved any title hopes for Idolo.
So 5 minutes left to go in the 2019 Futsal Canadian Championship. It has been an excellent back and forth here today and a great way to finish off what's been another exceptional tournament here in Kingston. Canada Soccer and Futsal Canada putting on a show here for those in attendance. Mostly here, obviously, supporting the 2 teams that are playing in this match, but you see some of the other teams from the weekend that are here taking in this gold medal match, including the 4th place Saskatoon Olympia some of the best players in the world, or in the country, Chris, on that team. We saw a handful of guys, including Jay Tomchuk, who plays for that squad.
Love that kid. Ran into him in the streets at Kingston yesterday, along with his sister who flew in from Saskatchewan. And you just got to love the Saskatchewan team. Every one of them, they're just the friendliest guys. You figure if your car breakdowns at 3 in the morning, you could open the door, crash on their couch, and they'd wake up serving you breakfast. That's how good those guys are out in Saskatchewan. Got to love our friends in the prairies coming in.
We are underway now in the second of 2 5-minute extra time periods between Toronto Idolo and Sporting Montreal for the right to claim the 2019 Futsal Canadian Championship gold medal. As Farsi and Nabuka manning the back here. Sila closing it up top. Mitchell Sila looking for help. Going to take Yorge one-on-one. Sila with a shot. Yorge with a great deflection. Ball stays in and dances along the line. No call coming from the official as you see Candon getting motion to get up.
The referees don't want to be the stars of this game by any stretch of imagination. They're going to let these boys bang, that's for sure.
Great piece of footwork on either side. Damian Graham trying to flick it through. Good battle by Nabuka on the far side as he was with Luis Roca all the way through.
Referee Chris Grabus just letting Adam Gamari know, yeah, you touched it. It's a corner.
It's going to be a corner kick here. Damian Graham waiting for the signal. Going to play that ball in. They go way back to the point. They're going to try to stretch out the defense here of Sporting. Roca slips it inside. It's going to go all the way through. Is Kamari going to make the save? Now it's Farsi.
And we're hoping for some sort of definition. Nobody ever wants to get the PKs, especially in futsal. We want to see some definition. There's so many goals in this wonderful sport out here, and hopefully we get something definitive now.
Sila lays it off to Nabuka. Big save by Caruso. There's a good best chance of the second extra time period here for Montreal. And they'll come back to Farsi, and how fitting it would be, Chris, to see Mohamed Farsi be the one to put this game away for Montreal, and it trickles just through the box. Unbelievable contact made, gets in behind Caruso but cannot find the back of the net.
The connection between Farsi and Canusi cannot be. Another opportunity there as Luis Roca just kind of rolls it behind. And you got to figure Idolo's defensive lapses might cost them out here. And, let's just hope for some more action. That's the only thing that's going on in my mind right now. I just want to see some definitive goal out there, someone with a real big golazo. And if it's Mohamed Farsi, that's a fairy tale ending, to say the least.
And Farsi with taking the ball in and can't quite get it through as Sina Candon trying to kick the ball in quickly. He'll lay it off for Jorge instead, and it'd be a tough pill to swallow, Chris, to see Idolo finish, especially if you're Eduardo Jorge with the way things ended in regulation, missing that PK by a mile.
Yeah, I think, you know what, there's going to be some disappointed players no matter what, obviously, because someone's got to lift the trophy and someone's got to go home with that silver. And the reality is both these teams deserve to win it. There's been some absolutely phenomenal goals, even better saves out there, and each team has deserved to win it, but unfortunately, only one can take that title.
Posting up top. Get it through to Farsi. Trying to make his way around Graham, and Damian Graham will come back in the counter for Idolo. And he'll stop up and regroup.
Idolo playing very patient right now. Luis Roca is usually a very aggressive player out there, but he understands what's at stake. Neither of these teams want to foul. Again, both of them have fouled out, so we keep forgetting that. But we see a slower, a more methodical approach by both teams in order to go out and make sure that they don't cause that foul and try to provide an opportunity for them to launch one in.
Roca and Graham try to get the 1-2. Surprised Roca was unable to handle that. Just a little flick there from Damian Graham. But Roca perhaps exhausting himself on that sequence, but is back here with pace. Here's Canusi, shot through, trying to slip it inside to Jean-Gilles, who's now out on the floor again.
God, Canusi is just fantastic to watch, isn't he?
Great footwork there by number 68 of Sporting Montreal. But now, great ball inside and unable to convert there. Unbelievable ball by Mohamed Farsi. Can't convert though.
And they've been exploiting that the whole time. That first half, we saw them exploiting the left side of the pitch out there. Farsi all the time out there. Little bit of a grab there on Rodriguez.
And they're going to let that go on Farsi. I'm surprised, Chris. It is late in the match in a gold medal game here between these two sides. Going to try to let as much go as possible, but a little bit of a clutch and grab there by Farsi.
Yeah, I certainly understand where the refs are coming from. They do not want to be chased out of this building.
Held inside, score! Rodriguez! Something out of nothing. And Toronto Idolo is up 5-4.
Yeah, and remember, it's not golden goal. So there's a $1.50 left on the clock in this second extra half. Montreal must score or Toronto Idolo wins the championship out here. But you know, with the offensive prowess that Sporting Montreal has, this game is by far no means close to being finished whatsoever.
And you see the celebration there from Rodriguez, the old Sam Cassell, showing off that he's a big player in the big moment. Stretching up top, lays it off, and a great opportunity through. They're going to call a late foul. They will not. I think the play was already done before the foul had been committed.
Yeah, the ball was far outside. There was no opportunity for him to score whatsoever out there. I certainly wouldn't have slid seeing the ball going out there. But again, I'm not the one on the pitch doing this stuff. The intensity's high. The stakes are even higher.
And it's a spoiled opportunity that time, but Idolo not necessarily waiting for another goal. They're just going to come back and defend, and we'll see if Sporting will either try to get and earn themselves a foul or stay upright and try to get a clean shot at goal. Farsi holding, taking on Rodriguez, flicks inside. Nabuka with a flick, and it goes off into the corner. Nabuka and Caruso.
And boy, Marco Rodriguez making up for some of the key errors early in the game. Could that be the championship clinch goal? That'd make up for absolutely everything, and the man wouldn't have to buy a meal all week from the club, to say the least. But if that's going to happen, I keep repeating it out here, and it's because we keep seeing Toronto Idolo exposing themselves defensively at the back. I mean, how many times have we seen Jean-Gilles? How many times have we seen Shaquille Michaud or Mitchell Sila just lurking in the back, waiting for that Mohamed Farsi pass to just tap in the far post? They must compose themselves and make sure they're doing everything at all costs to prevent that man from playing the far post.
And Chris, we are down into the final minute here between these two sides. An excellent gold medal match between these two teams. Jean-Gilles posting it up top, trying to get around Jorge. Check ball comes back through and unable to get a clean shot. He'll come down the length of the floor. He'll give it up to Farsi. Farsi trying to attack. Mohamed Farsi lays it off. An ill-advised pass coming on the side there to Nabuka. And down to the final minute. Caruso stretching up top. Goes out past the outstretched hand there, or the outstretched foot of Damian Graham.
And no matter what happens in the next 45 seconds, this place is going to absolutely explode.
Pass to the far side to Nabuka. Options are open. They go back to Farsi. Now joining the mix is Gamari. Chance in front, score! And the back and forth continues, finishing it off. Abdel Nabuka. 30 seconds to go, Chris. And we're tied again.
You just smelled Sporting Montreal had something up their sleeve, and boy, did they put it out there. Now the staff coming in, letting the fans know, don't come onto the court. You cannot, as a fan, spectator, anyone else, if you're not in the game, do not step onto the court at all out there.
And Nabuka stepping up huge once again as the Sporting Montreal fans on their feet and mimicking the celebration from Rodriguez just moments ago, as we are now destined for spot kicks unless one of these two teams can finish it off. And a great attempt at goal by Rodriguez again.
Out there, could you imagine if he just shut them down with another goal?
Shot
no
coming
fouls.
through.
We will see.
Farsi just trying to clear it through. And Gamari falling over.
Bit of a funny moment out there, Adam Gamari. Gotta love that kid.
Especially getting in the face there of Rodriguez, and then Gamari takes the fall.
15 seconds left. Will Montreal get an opportunity to clinch it in extra time?
Farsi to the far side to Nabuka, who's gotten two huge goals here today, including the game-tying goal just moments ago. 7 seconds remaining. One last opportunity here for Montreal. Can they get a shot towards goal? Trying to play it in, get the turn, and they will not, and it's going to go the other way in favor of Idolo. Will there be enough time for Idolo to get the shot through?
3 seconds left. It's enough in futsal. The clock doesn't start until it hits the floor or a player. And they're going to PKs.
And Caruso just going to shoot it towards goal, and we are going to PKs to decide the 2019 Futsal Canadian Championship gold medalists. And Chris, We wouldn't have it any other way. Tough seeing PKs in the outdoor game, even tougher seeing it here in futsal, as there's so many opportunities for the game to be decided, and just a tough break, but an excellent match.
You could not have asked for a better championship match between bigger rivals. This is by far and away the best Canadian futsal championship match in the history of our competition. And my goodness, we talked about it, 45 seconds left. Sporting were hunting. They were feeling it. Will they get it? The place was going to explode no matter what. And of course, we saw the explosion of the Montreal fans going absolutely buck wild over here at Queen's University. And now the only way to separate them is with PKs, and it's an unfortunate way to go. But the reality of the situation is someone's got to take home that cup out the end.
So we will see.
And the cool thing about the PKs out here, you see in soccer where you have 5. It is more like hockey where you have 3 shooters out here. So it's going to be the best of 3. So we're going to see some big guns. I mean, we'll see who's going to be shooting, but if I'm a betting man for Sporting Montreal, for me, I'm going with either Farsi, definitely Mitchell Sila, and obviously Berlin Jean-Gilles would be my picks. Who would you go with, Kyle?
Yeah, that sounds like a pretty solid crew. Like 3 major pieces for Montreal. If you're looking maybe the hot foot today, though, Abdel Nabuka, who's gotten 2 huge goals. As someone who's more of a defender, a lot of clearance opportunities, a lot of clearance reps, perhaps just going to go in and just unload on the ball and just try to go for power. But I think the 3 guys you mentioned, Chris, Sila, Jean-Gilles, and then looking at Farsi, probably a good bet to get those 3. What about for Idolo?
Idolo, I got to go with Luis Roca first and foremost. I mean, 9 goals coming into this match alone from 3 games. When you're averaging a hat trick coming into the championship, you'd be foolish not to put the man in. He's been dynamite all game long. I mean, we could put in Damian Graham as another example. John Alec Duenas has a great foot. Marco Rodriguez scored a goal earlier as well. I mean, but I'm going to probably lay it out with Adrian Perez, to be honest, and Damian Graham, and then, of course, Luis Roca as well. But the goalkeepers, story of the match. And we're going to see right now between Adam Gamari and Luigi Caruso who's going to stand on their toes out here. 3 meters wide, 2 meters high is this futsal goal out here. Everyone now getting up from the stands, especially the Montreal fans going right behind the net. You're going to see them flooding, cheering, maybe doing some sort of wave, you know, with those air streamers that you see at the NBA games during a free throw.
There should be a lot of fireworks both on the floor and off as we finish off this 2019 Futsal Canadian Championship. And what a way to finish off this tournament. It's been excellent all year long between a lot of the major programs and all weekend long here for this championship. And Chris, happy we got to do it once again here at Queen's University. This is our 5th year doing this together. And as you mentioned, I think this might be the best game that we've broadcasted in our 5 years.
No question about it. It's actually 6. That's how nervous you are. You're not even counting properly right now, big guy. But the reality is this is definitely the biggest game, no question. I just got the biggest smile on my face. Everyone here, everyone watching at home, you know you got your time's worth, to say the least. Nothing better on a rainy Sunday to sit and watch a classic futsal match between 2 of the biggest rivals in Canadian futsal.
And Chris, a great exchange between Gamari and Caruso, the 2 goalkeepers, mutual respect. They have been excellent in this game here today, and an opportunity for one of them to steal the show and hoist the trophy for their respective club.
They're good friends out there. Gamari plays with the Tunisian national team, just got his 2nd cap recently. Luigi got his caps playing with the Canadian national team down in Central America. They're both warriors, they're both competitors, and they know it's PKs, man. Anything goes out here. This is just an unbelievable exhibition of futsal prowess. So let's see where the chips fall, Kyle.
As we expected, Jean-Gilles taking the first as he will go up against Caruso. It'll be the first kick here for Sporting Montreal.
You knew Jean-Gilles was definitely getting up to that spot, to say the least, out there.
Berlin Jean-Gilles, number 76 here for Sporting Montreal, out to take the first spot kick here in the shootout to determine the 2019 Futsal National Champion. And he will be opposed by Luigi Caruso. As Chris mentioned, a national caliber goalkeeper stepping up. Jean-Gilles, wide of the net. Advantage, Toronto Idolo.
Wow, I wasn't expecting that out there. 2 of the biggest strikers missing opportunities from up close. Earlier we saw Eduardo Yarguay missing the clincher at the end of the 2nd half, and now Jean-Gilles Berlin, or I should say Berlin Jean-Gilles, we just keep calling him JG the whole time out there. He had 5 goals coming into this match, Kyle, and he's got to be really disappointed with himself. And the man, Marco Rodriguez. He's been hot and cold. Will he do it?
Stepping up here, taking on Gamari. Shot score! Marco Rodriguez
Well placed down the middle. Gamari's going to pick. Usually in futsal PKs, you're seeing a goalkeeper go down, move one side or the other. It's so difficult from 6 meters out. Look how close they are out there. But, I mean, you can't fault Gamari.
Mitchell Sila stepping up now on Caruso. Trying to even the score here. After the second shot, stepping up, Sila scores into the far side corner. Excellently struck there by Mitchell Sila. And it's now 1-1. 2 shots taken by Montreal. And now taking the second will be Camden.
Well, and with Mitchell Sila, we talked about other guys coming into the game with goals. This man came in with 8 goals from 2 games. And he buries it out there and shows his value.
Cena, Camden, hammers. And it's 2-1, Idolo.
You don't ask for much better than that. The experienced international, 29-year-old Iranian coming in and just burying it. I don't care if you're Stretch Armstrong, you're not getting that shot.
Nabuka stepping up here, Chris. We talked about him. And this is an opportunity for Toronto Idolo to claim the championship. If Caruso can make a save or Nabuka goes wide of the net, Toronto Idolo will claim another national championship trophy on the futsal stage. Nabuka steps up, shot, score.
Beautiful finish out there by the man known as LK. 23 years old, one of the best players in all of Quebec, and he's proven it all game long. What a fantastic, fantastic performance today from LK.
Luis Roca with an opportunity to send the championship back to Toronto. Roca steps up, Roca, game! And Toronto Idolo are the 2019 Futsal National Champions after converting all 3 of their penalty spot kicks. And Gamari cannot be consoled on the floor. And an unbelievable contest comes to an end with Toronto Idolo claiming the 2019 Futsal National Championship. Caruso down on his knees, and an unbelievable game back and forth here. As you see again, Chris, the respect between these two sides. Just an unbelievable game.
Listen, I got to tell you, that went down obviously to the final kick. That was the best championship. I'll repeat it several times because that's how good of a match it was. And you're sitting there with some of the best snipers, not just in Ontario, not just in Quebec, but in all of North America, coming out and trying to do their best from 6 meters out. And the reality of the situation is something had to give, and both these teams easily could have walked away with the Canadian Futsal Championship. And just fortunately today for Lorenzo Redwood and his band of futsalers, they are lifting the championship for the 2nd consecutive year. And now this is Redwood's 3rd national championship at the CSA level. Phenomenal effort by both Redwood and Toronto Idolo, but my goodness, Sporting Montreal, what a phenomenal performance from everybody out here. Poor Adam Gamari, I hate to see him sad because he is one of my favorite players to watch, but what a final. I can't get enough. My heart's absolutely racing, Kyle.
Exceptional game between both of these two sides. Toronto Idolo claiming the championship once again, but an excellent match back and forth between these two teams. A great way to finish off an even better weekend here at the Athletics and Recreation Center. And it has been such a great match between these two sides. And again, mutual respect between both of these sides, and we will throw it down to court level for the post-game ceremony presentation of the banner and trophies and the silver medal to Sporting Montreal. And Chris, thank you again for coming down from Toronto. An excellent time once again here calling the Futsal National Championships here in Kingston, and hopefully we can do this again.
Let's hope so. I would love to have it out here in the home of futsal in Kingston at Queen's University. I mean, what a phenomenal finish, but you got a job to do down on court level, big guy. You got going. Phenomenal action calling by you again. The best play-by-play man in futsal in the game today.
Thanks, pal. We'll see you again. And thank you for joining us again all weekend long, especially for these 2 medal matches. And we will see you hopefully again here next year for the 2020 Futsal Canadian Championship. And Chris will take you the rest of the way.
And another phenomenal play-by-play job by Kyle, who is the best play-by-play man in the futsal game today out there, but he has some duties on court, so he's got to take care of. But again, what a phenomenal match if you're watching, whether it's in Saskatchewan, BC, Nunavut, Yukon, Anticosti Island, out in the Atlantic. No matter where you're watching from, you got a taste of futsal right here. And this is the soup that you needed to have a little sip of, and I hope you enjoyed it because that was an absolute cracker, a classic of a futsal match that will go down in history as one of the best, in my opinion, and Kyle's opinion, the best futsal championship Canada has ever seen. Phenomenal work by everyone from both clubs at Toronto Idolo, the champions. First ever defending champions in the history of the CSA's Futsal Canadian Championship out there. And Lorenzo Redwood now with his third CSA title. First one initially with Toronto United a couple of years ago. Last year again with Idolo. And now this year they've clinched their title again and will be headed to CONCACAF. We're hearing that it's going to be going out in Central America in a couple of months, and a great opportunity for the boys to test their mettle against some of Central America and North America's best. We're going to be really excited to see how that pans out. But we absolutely must. Lorenzo Redwood giving us a great couple of nice views out there, and just absolutely pumped about winning. William Lemos, assistant coach at Toronto Idolo, the father of Joshua Lemos, Canadian national team, superstar goalie out there. You could see they're happy, obviously, to lift the title. Vince Tersini, a great friend of futsal, Ontario's representative here, embracing Luigi Caruso, who had an absolutely phenomenal performance today, along with goalkeeper Adam Gamari. I mean, both goalkeepers really made the difference, and you just can't say enough about the work and effort that these guys put in. And what's even more phenomenal, to be perfectly honest, for those of you watching at home, is that a lot of the players from Toronto Idolo were actually tied contractually to play in the Major Arena Soccer League, which is that arena boarded league with the artificial grass. Several of their players were playing with the Mississauga Metro Stars out there, and were only released last week. So they were able to join and play this year, or this weekend, I should say. And to come out against a team with as much experience, as much youth, as much talent, as much skill as Sporting Montreal, and lift the title after an arduous 4-day battle against the best from across the country, you just can't tip your hat off to these fine young gentlemen enough. And we're going to get ready for the awards ceremony. We're seeing everybody come out here from the CSA. Joe Guest, a wonderful, wonderful man, hard worker over at the CSA, making his trip from Ottawa, putting together a great show. Ali Pike recently just joined the Canadian Soccer Association as well, is an events coordinator and doing some stuff with futsal. Great to meet her and seeing the great work that she does. Alex Fletcher over here, district regional from SOSA, the region that has Kingston in it, and also with Futsal Canada, and doing a great job. The referees, Joe Audi, one of the greatest human beings, forget just in futsal, just one of the greatest human beings overall, doing a lovely speech for our brother, our beloved friend Bob Thibault, who passed away a couple of months ago and had led the referee program out here, was the first FIFA referee instructor for futsal and beach soccer in this country's history, helped develop Chris Grabus, who was the first official in this game, and he got his FIFA badge. So I know that Deb, Max, and Meg, I forgot to mention Meg's name earlier, a wonderful, wonderful young doctor at the Mayo Clinic up in Rochester, Minnesota, one of the best hospitals on the entire planet. And that's just the kind of mark that Bob Thibault has left out there in developing not just a wonderful family, but in this program out here. So we're going to let Alex Fletcher do the talk, and we'll do a little bit of kind of commentary as it's actually happening. So out here now, two of the best futsal advocates in the entire country. Charlie Cozzetto, the initial founder of Futsal Canada, former president of BC Soccer, and just one of the biggest leaders out there. He's on a FIFA discipline committee, and beside him is another great man from Saskatchewan, Don Story, big advocate. He's a recent convert over to futsal, and Saskatchewan's done a phenomenal job in developing futsal out there. So both these gentlemen well deserved to be here, and really happy to see their vast contributions to the legacy and long-term sustainability of futsal in our great country. And we see the CSA lovely gift baskets being issued out. As Don and Charlie giving the gift baskets out to the captain of the Nunavut team that came all the way from up north. Nunavut doing nothing but futsal up in the territories. A wonderful place if you can ever go and visit. Make sure you get up, visit our north, support our indigenous communities, and everyone up in Nunavut doing a phenomenal job in developing futsal, and not obviously to forget our Northwest Territories, the Yukon, which we will see quite a few members from who are also here today. Just a great job in expanding our wonderful indoor sport across the great nation of Canada. And I've always wondered what is actually in those gift baskets. Is it a shirt? Is it a polo? Is it a medal? We just don't know. Maybe Kyle can tell us a little later on when he's coming off the court. It's kind of like those Academy Award gift bags. You know they're worth $200,000, but you just don't know what's inside. And I'm pretty sure they're not worth $200,000 over here, but it's always a nice gesture. And coming now, the representatives from Manitoba. Made a great play. Pioneers FC. Having a great time this weekend. Seeing a lot of futsal growth out in Winnipeg, Brandon, Flin Flon. Good developments out there to all our friends in the prairies. And this is a story. The Alberta Villains Elite had actually beaten Toronto Idolo 6-5 in their second match. And if it wasn't for Saskatchewan beating Alberta in yesterday's final group stage match, Toronto Idolo would not have been in the final and subsequently not be lifting the Canadian Futsal Championship. So, Alberta on the rise. Great promise. We have great friends out there. Geraldo Ferrari out in Edmonton. Joao Passinho out in Calgary. Great futsal people out there. And I can't say enough about the fine folks in Saskatchewan. Don Story, spoiler alert, he is from Saskatchewan. You could see the smile on this man's face. He's so happy with the performance as we see Jade Tomchuk, part of the national team player pool, and the president of Saskatchewan Soccer, just on the right of Charlie Cazzetto, doing a great job in development there. Everybody from Saskatchewan. Dave Nutt, one of my favorite people I've ever met in Canadian soccer, and everyone else out there doing a phenomenal job. And Jaime Meza, the coach, one of the best pound-for-pound coaches in North America today, leading that team into the bronze medal match. He has a silver, he had a bronze from last year, doing a phenomenal job with his great guys. And hopefully we say hi to Fitzroy Christie, who's on vacation right now. Well, not necessarily vacation, but he's in Portugal right now with his son playing at a significant tournament. Now, we talked about Bob Thibault earlier in the lovely words out there from Joe Audi. Joe Audi is there out right now. He's the chief ref over here, making sure that everyone is doing their job out here, handing a medal out to Alexis Vaughn. Got her start over in Toronto with me, one of the best young referees. Played for the Trinidad women's national team, if I'm not mistaken, and I heard also just recently completed law school as well. So we got Joe over here who said those kind words about Bob, but again, he's just one of the nicest human beings you will ever meet in your life. Just an absolute treat. If you ever get to sit down with him, if you're ever in Ottawa, Joe Audi, the man, we love him. And now just awarding all the medals. We saw actually the president of Futsal Kingston, Phil Benavidez, a very good friend to the CSA and Futsal Canada, getting his deserved medal out there, along with the other fine referees from across this country. And now, Toronto, Philip Deutsch, I know his father, Devore, very well, is watching him from Toronto, down on Eglinton Avenue. Solid job today for the referees. Some controversial calls, but hey, that's sport in general. It happens everywhere else. And there we go, Chris Gravis, the only FIFA-badged referee in the country, getting the first assignment today on the court. I know somewhere, probably in the Dominican, Isaac Raymond's watching, so Isaac, hello, I hope you're enjoying that sunny weather out there as the Canadian Premier League exhibition series is getting started down there. Make sure you support the Canadian Premier League. We have players from futsal, players from all over the world, and of course, most importantly, Canadian-bred talent playing at a professional level, getting paid to play soccer. We got to support that across the country, and that kicks off very, very shortly. So Isaac and the rest of the crew, great job down in the Dominican. Keep up the great work, and the boys over here holding down the futsal fort for you.
Congratulations to our third-place team in bronze medals, representing Ontario. Represents Ontario, GTA Futsal.
And the bronze medalists, edging out Saskatchewan earlier, I believe 6-4. Out here is GTA Futsal. And the representative we mentioned before, Vince Tersini. Vince has been involved in futsal since I was a toddler. And he was with the OSA Soccer Committee as the chairman for many years. Currently vice president of York Region Soccer Association, one of the largest districts in all of the country, and has been a very big advocate, along with President Tony Barbieri, also a great friend of futsal, and doing a great job as we see Vince getting his medal and walking off. Charlie and Don handing out those medals to GTA Futsal. Toronto-based area team grabbing their bronze. They were Ontario champions. They won the Ontario Futsal Cup just only a couple of weeks ago out there. Doing a great job, edging out, earning their first medal. Not just at the provincial level, but of course now here at Nationals. And always nice when the players bring their young children up to collect a medal. It's a family event. I guess that's why they always refer to it as the futsal family. And just a great job as we see the bronze medal photo under the Futsal Canadian Championship banner. Over there, we just got to thank everyone again at Canada Soccer. We got to thank everybody at Queen's University for being phenomenal hosts.
Representing Quebec, representing Quebec, Sporting Montréal.
And as we see here, the best run futsal club in all of the country, Sporting. And I say Sporting because it's no longer just Sporting Montreal. They initially came and won the championship a couple of years ago as Sporting Outlaws, but changed the name because they wanted a more family-friendly name out there instead of just the Sporting Outlaws. And so they went and said, hey, look, we're going to turn it into Sporting Montreal, and we're going to expand it across the province. So now they have Sporting Quebec, who made the semifinals last year at the championship. And then you have Sporting Gatineau, and I'm sure I'm probably missing one. I know they're going to have a whole bunch out there, but some great, great people at the Sporting program, playing in the PLFQ, great league out there in Quebec with high performance across the board. And of course, with our friends at LF5A, Alex Quinault, Vanessa, everybody out there doing a phenomenal job out in Laval and Montréal. I hope my accent wasn't too bad on it. I will work on the French, I promise you. But the club has done such a phenomenal job in building great elite talent that's not just producing Canadian national team players, but we talked about some of the Algerian, Moroccan, and with Gamari earlier, he's on the Tunisian national team as a goalkeeper getting his second cap. Wish he was playing for Canada because he's a treat and a half. But Tunisia came in, snagged him up, and we're seeing the results out here. National team players, and they're so, so very young. Mohamed Farsi, my personal vote for MVP, despite being on the losing end in the final. Absolute phenomenal 7-year player, born in Montreal. I know his family in Algeria and Montreal is watching.
And now, the 2019 Futsal Canadian Championship gold medalist. Et maintenant, les médailles d'or pour le championnat canadien Futsal 2019, representing Ontario, representing Ontario, Toronto, Idolo.
And you got the claps, you got the horns, the air horns. The atmosphere is absolutely electric out here as we see Vincent Tersini joining Don Story and Charlie Cozzetto, 3 of the original futsal builders. Others, I know Carl Gray is here. I know that Bob Luft is watching back at home in St. Thomas, Ontario. All the big builders giving the awards to Toronto Idolo, becoming the first team ever in Canadian futsal history to win back-to-back titles. And we see Marco Rodriguez with his young son. A small little story, his girlfriend was actually pregnant with his son while he was at CONCACAF, and she's like, look, you go play. Don't worry, I got this on lock. That's a woman you give a ring to, Marco. Just a little tip. He's going to kill me when he hears it. but that's how it goes. And now his son gets a little medal to join. As we talked about the family atmosphere in futsal, it's wonderful, close-knit. As we see here, the medal's given out. Luis Roca with a phenomenal tournament performance out there. Goal after goal, clinching with the final PK to bring the title back to Toronto. Eduardo Yaraguay, a.k.a. known as Bullets because of the velocity of his shots out there. Absolutely happy to be back on the podium again and again and again. And he'll definitely be part of that 2020 run as Canada aims to get to the World Cup for the first time since 1989. And we were so very close in 2016. 1 goal away against Cuba. But that's how the game goes sometimes. Just like today, 1 goal difference in PKs. As we see Luigi Caruso coming in. Again, can't talk enough about the performance he put in. And the championship banner coming up from Ali to Charlie to Don. The beautiful Canadian Futsal Championship banner. The championships have been won for the last 6 years here. Initially, when started with Futsal Canada, when everyone just wanted to come together to bring a championship tournament. And the CSA said, let's extend it. You guys have a great venue. Let's do it. We said, phenomenal. And what a great job and collaboration, everyone coming together to build what we feel is the greatest indoor sport on the planet. And it's growing year after year. And we hope if you're watching at home, if you have a kid and you want them to be the next Ronaldo, the next Messi, the next big thing, this is where they all started. They started playing futsal. And now, one day, you could also be a champion in it. And you know the explosion's about to hit.
That concludes our awards in closing. Thank you to all the teams and officials who are leading Kingston for the 2019 Canadian Futsal Championships and a safe travels.
As we see the Iranian International number 2, Sina Condon, played number 2, had a phenomenal left-footed goal carrying that trophy. He's been in Canada for 1 year. His wife and his mother back in Iran, and he wanted to come here and make something better for himself, and now he's a champion. AFC futsal coaching degree, level 1. Got that trophy in the front. Just a phenomenal experience for Lorenzo Redwood and the Toronto Idolo side. Congratulations on being the first repeat champions in Canadian futsal history. And everybody, all their families watching at home, you know there's a lot of them. Eduardo Yaraguay, his cousin Fabian in Uruguay is watching. We know John Alec Dueñas has Pablo Dueñas watching on the live stream, the North York-born star player. Started playing in 2003 in the Driftwood Hispanic Indoor League, playing 11v11 for York University. And great work by John Alec, one of the nicest people. I wish his parents were here. His parents are just phenomenal, so nice. I hope you're still watching the award ceremony. I know you're probably doing it for sure. And Luis Roca, his father Luis, mother Maria, Johnny, his brother, and all his friends back in Toronto watching. And I know Luigi Caruso, I can definitely tell you with a 100% fact that his mother Diana, his brother Gasper, and his stepdad Ricky watching back at home as well. Alberto Palencia not getting any minutes in the final, but the backup goalkeeper still being supported by Doris, his mother back home. A Shoreham original. For those in the western part of Toronto, you'll get that. Damian Graham wanted to shout out for his entire family, his dad, his mom, his girlfriend. Won nationals last year, part of the national team, and he's just a wonderful player to watch. He's got the lightest feet ever. You kind of even wonder if his feet even touch the floor. It's just incredible to watch him. He looks like he's playing on a cloud every single time. So just really, really, really great stuff from the Toronto Idolo side and all the support that they received. And a great job again, as we said, by Canada Soccer. A great job by Queen's University. The 6th year that the tournament's been hosted here. And when you look at the quality of the court, the quality of the venue, the quality of the city and its people, there's no better place to have a National Futsal Championship here than in Kingston, Ontario. Just a wonderful, wonderful Canadian city. And now we're going to see some of the teams coming in together to do one giant photo. This is the brotherhood. This is the family of futsal that we keep talking about. And we hope if you have a kid and you want your kid to get the touches, to be faster, to use both feet, play futsal. It's cheaper than playing in an indoor facility on grass where they're charging, what, $250 an hour. Play it. The programs are there. You can visit canadasoccer.com. You can visit futsalcanada.com, or .ca, I should say. And ultimately, get your kids to play futsal. This is a FIFA World Cup sport. It was in the Youth Olympics last October in Buenos Aires, and it was widely received by everybody over at the IOC and FIFA as the future of football. This will be an Olympic sport one day. This will be an NCAA sport one day. This is worldwide. You have a UEFA Champions League for futsal. So if you watch the Champions League in soccer, now you have it for futsal. You have a women's competition. There will be a Women's World Cup much sooner than later. There's U19s, plenty of professional opportunities out there. All you have to do is seize it. Get your kids to play the greatest indoor game for development possible. And now we see this wonderful photo with all provinces that came and flew in as far as the Yukon and Nunavut. Hopefully next year we see some representation out there from BC and Atlantic Canada, one of my favorite places in the entire world. Looking at you, Nova Scotia. Love to see you guys host one day. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, Toronto Idolo 2019 Futsal Canadian Champions. The first repeat champions in history. We hope you enjoyed the broadcast. On behalf of Kyle Campo, on behalf of the Canadian Soccer Association, I'm Chris Fernandez. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, ladies and gentlemen. Take care.